it! Hello, we are Die Rolling, 5/6 of Die Rolling. We are a group of D&D players from the southwest of England. We are on episode 10 of the Star Engine, a weekly campaign set in the mysterious and deadly world of Asher.
10! It's gone past 10.
Pink lemonade?
Mom! Back in the game. Hello, everybody.
Chain baby belling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, anyone who is joining us this evening, for our lifelong fans out there, and also for anyone new who stumbled upon us this evening. Welcome. We normally like to start things off with a sacred summary.
You say usually.
Unfortunately, I've had little to no time to prepare.
We've done the thing now.
Well, you've got to do it now.
I'm bringing it back. I've been listening to previous sessions on the old podcasts, and I've decided just for one night only to bring back Claro's collaboration.
Is there no God?
What a treat!
That means I've got to remember what we did last week.
It means it's no holds barred collaboration of what happened last session. We started last session awaking next to a large furry luck dragon creature.
A Brock.
A Brock. Thank you very much. The group bickered about what we were going to do.
No, really? That's very accurate. That was a lot of
for maybe the first half hour.
Yeah.
Eventually deciding to head out into the town and collect a halfling or two. Mm-hmm. We picked up Pug from Pug's Pie Hole. He was surprisingly unthankful for being collected.
Well, we'd taken him away from his water supply.
Yeah, that's true. He's an addict. He also got
addicted
punched
to
by our very own Zola.
It was a medical punch, that was.
he applied the appropriate pressure to medical punch, throwing up the ill-tasting water, well, good tasting, I guess, but ill water, and then he felt a lot better about life.
Yeah.
Nice. So if we did anything last session, we saved Pug. Well done, everyone.
Yeah.
Eventually, we headed out into the town. After the bickering, Claro decided to go to the coal hole, Blaze's coal hole, and try and summon his familiar and find it within the dark veil, beyond the reality that we know. While the rest of the party went to go and talk to the players that were in the theatre. They collected Thorinir from there, who was a little crazy. Did Thorinir go back and get less crazy?
We had to bring him back.
Yeah, he went in and out of crazy.
Yeah.
Lovely. So got some of the wool that helps you feel better, the Brock wool.
Quite so crazy.
And then headed towards the two players that were on the stage. The standing hobbit-y person, halfling. You can't say hobbit for copyright reasons, but anyway, the standing halfling, and then the halfling that's on the wheelchair. They had a chat. Again, more bickering, and then in the end, Nollis just decided that he was going to fight the bird, which they fight every year, and try and save the town from the magic that it was under.
Appease the gods.
Bickering over what we were going to do and how we were going to do it really was the theme of last week.
It was very much so, yes.
The theme of this campaign.
I just listened to the Ruckus and Callus, and yes, it very much is this campaign. The fight ensued. It was a strange fight because he couldn't fight the creature. He couldn't inflict any blows on it. He couldn't cast magic on it. He just didn't
Not
want
just
to.
him though. None of us could. There was an enchantment that meant that any attack was decided against.
Yeah, so that was no good. But he managed to be able to get reactions against the creature whenever he was hit, depending on a roll. In the end, he did finally kill it without dying. It was a little bit
Close.
Very,
as are most of our fights involving Nollis. And the party were successful. They met at the end of the fight. The spell did not seem to break in town.
Did not, no.
And they walked back towards the cave. Claro emerged from the coal hole with his new familiar, Reap, the tiny little owl. And we meet them as they collect together back in the cave.
I think killing the bird was the right decision as well. I'm putting it out there now. It was the right decision.
We'll soon
We'll
find
soon
out
see.
Yeah.
I
on
think
the
you
next
missed-
session of die rolling.
I think you missed one very important
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
part as well.
No, I didn't miss anything.
Nollis is massive.
Nollis grew to
Yeah,
immense
Nollis is
size.
about 12 foot tall,
Yeah.
and Thorinir is a humongous badger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I forgot
Yeah.
that.
You dug a
Yes, you're
you dug a hole.
trying
I've
to
successfully stopped the waterfall.
temporarily.
I believe that as well. Yeah.
Attempted to successfully stop the waterfall. And thank you very much for that, Claro.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you.
Marvellous. Oh, ominous music.
Thorinir the badger, you realise that as much as you're attempting to block up this waterfall, as you kind of scramble more and more earth from the sides of this wall and bits of loose rock and brickwork, it's kind of falling into this river channel beneath you. So whereas you're expecting it to be taken up into the sky along with this reverse flowing waterfall that's flowing upwards, every time you scramble this mud and stone into it, it falls down into the river, contrary to what your eyes tell you it should do.
That's Badger Thorinir.
Think of that.
Confused badger look.
But he's going to realise this is doing nothing and revert into his usual form
Okay.
with the same old.
Your clothes have a slightly looser badger
Yeah.
as they return to normal size.
Slightly grubbier.
Yeah. The rest of you are the three of you together, aren't you? You weren't split for any reason.
No.
Yeah. The rest of you are in the centre of this square. You see over the corner of your eye Thorinir reverting from this badger form.
Never get used to
Gross as usual.
that. Never get used to
As all of the halflings that were accompanying you previously have this deceased periton that they're pulling along with it. This large antlers scraping along the ground as it's being dragged. Its heavy body lying plumped up with its wings spread broadly across the ground. It's being dragged, and a thin layer of dirt covering this stone is almost being swept by the bird away. There's like a clean streak behind it as its body is pulled across the square. They're pulling it towards.
Interesting specific bit of description there. Remember that.
They're pulling it towards Pug's pie hole, into that direction.
But Pug's not about.
Pug at the moment's the
Pug's still in the
waterfall,
cave.
Yeah.
or behind them.
So we'll make the big bird pie.
I think it's about time we head to the waterfall and announce the victory
Agree.
I think so.
and see what happens next in this festival.
I think we've already done that.
Have we? We shall go back.
Let's do it again.
Because
Yeah.
Pug was really excited about the festival beginning.
Yeah, you finally cook it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. So right at the end of last session, you did go back and collect Pug. You're right,
Yeah.
and he emerged with you, and he was the one that announced the end of the episode. I remember.
Here you break the fourth wall. Oh gosh. Okay, Pug. What's next?
Oh, we gotta prepare it now.
Okay.
This is great news.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Will you be staying for the festival?
Of course.
I think we're kind of contractually obliged.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Help us get it through. It's a big old bird.
Yeah.
And the others there are helping drag it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of you
Give 'em
helping
a hand,
out,
yeah.
and you pull it past the stew, which is this puddle of bright, shiny puddle of water. And Pug takes a little look at it. And as he does so, you see his left hand clenching the wool that that you provided him
I'll
from
just
Brock.
put a hand on his shoulder as we're walking past and sort of guide him back towards his shop.
Just a little drink.
No, you're fine. You go on. You can have a drink later, maybe.
Everyone else just pushes him on, and this bird is sizable. It's a real squeeze to get it through that door. It takes a group of all of these little halflings that are here, Serge in the wheelchair and Jody the matador.
Clara doesn't help, but he does just like the mage handle, in the kind of like softest. He's just kind of a bit like,
Yeah.
and it just
Helps it through,
Little
yeah.
floating skeletal
Little
hands.
glowing hand.
It's a big old creature, and they work as hard as they can. Kind of, some of them are pulling it backwards, some are pushing forwards. Perhaps some of you are helping out, and they eventually manage to kind of pop it through this door. A couple of blue feathers from its great wings kind of fall out and get bent back and pulled out on the doorway.
I'm going to take one of the feathers and just stick it in my backpack.
Your tiny hat.
Yes, I believe.
An enormous feather and
the tiny hat is. Nollis has got the tiny
Yeah, I believe
hat.
Nora's got the tiny
It's
hat,
not a
but
giant
he's
hat.
nowhere
That's
to be,
true.
he's nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Whoa, where did he go? He must
Sleeping
be
it off, I
having
think.
a victory piss.
Yeah. You continue into the building. I'm assuming. Yes.
Yeah, if there's room.
And as you kind of walk into this room, can you all give me your charisma saves with advantage, please?
Not that one.
Is
Better than that one.
this mattering?
Ooh, dear me.
You've got advantage anyway
Of course.
because you're holding the wall.
Yes, you're right. Would that be mattering?
Maybe not.
Not a very good one, anyway.
So you say charisma saves.
9.
6.
16.
8.
Okay. As you walk into the room, the light kind of changes from the relative brightness outside, to the dimness. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust to the change in light. There's no windows in this room. As your eyes readjust into this room, the halflings are all stood around. The bird has disappeared, and
This is in the Pug's Pie Hole.
in Pug's Pie
Cool,
Hole.
yeah.
But notably in the centre of the room where the tables were previously, there's a huge pile of cooked meat.
Nollis!
I really remember there was a large pile of cooked meat in the room before, which you two saw at the kind of far end of the room.
Yeah.
And now you notice that there's a large pile of meat pretty much slap bang in the middle of the room.
But no sign of the bird.
No sign of the
The
bird.
huge bird that we just manhandled.
Seconds before, yeah.
Well, you guys killed the bird then,
Well,
and you've already prepared it. That was quick.
that was impressive.
All the halflings are kind of a bit giddy and joyous. You can see them all quite happy.
None of them seem to have been at all perturbed by the sudden disappearance of the bird and appearance of a large pile of meat.
Not from their outward appearances. They all seem pretty happy and excited. There's a bit of cheering. A couple of them are sort of dancing, almost being frivolous, linking arms and spinning themselves around. Pug kind of starts to lay out some chairs, pull them out, move a table to the side, just trying to make some space for some people to come and sit down, basically.
Clara turns his head to the owl that's in his hood. And he says, "Reap, there's something very wrong with this town." And you guys hear, "Oh, oh, and what he actually hears is, "Yes, there is something incredibly wrong with this town."
Incredibly wrong.
Nice.
I think Zolan's a little cautious about what happened to Claro, the stories he's told, so I'm going to go back and prop the door, if I can.
So
Good idea.
So in Pug's Pie Hole,
Yeah.
it is a hole. It doesn't
there
seem
is no
to be
door.
a door.
I'm going to look back.
is-
Is there a door still? Is there still an
There
exit?
is an exit still, yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to stick my head outside the door and I just want to see if there's still the traces of where we dragged the bird in.
Yeah, sure. So if you go back outside,
Yeah, just popping my head back
just
out.
looking to see if it's still kind of
Yeah.
clean, the dirt. Seems so, yes.
So there is evidence that we did move this bird into the thing, and
You can certainly see that very evidently without a roll.
Right.
Feathers in the doorway.
Feathers are in the doorway. Yes.
I've still got the feather in my bag.
Yeah.
Okay, so there definitely was a bird.
Yeah, there was a bird, yeah?
We didn't just imagine it. There definitely was a bird. Pulls feather out of bag.
Kill
So
the bird,
where-
they said. The magic will be lifted, they said.
Where is the bird?
More to the point! Where's your huge blue friend? Serge in the wheelchair with his pointed white hair with blue tips looks back over to you. He's gotta have the first bite!
Oh no, the
This
ceremony.
meat doesn't have a blue tinge to it, does it?
You can investigate it.
11.
Seems like cooked meat, just like the other cooked meat in the room and the other cooked meat that you've seen elsewhere.
It's not sea elfy.
Yeah, try a bit, see if it's salty.
Where's he gone then?
That's
Oh,
a very
never
good
mind!
question. In all the fuss, where has he gone?
He does tend to.
He has a habit of wandering off, doesn't
He
he?
was pretty beat up. He might have just gone for a kip,
Yeah.
maybe.
Zolan, why not give it a go?
No.
Yeah, please, tuck in.
You.
This is Jody the Matador with his kind of leather armour that he was wearing. That was a wonderful fight. That was quite exciting.
I think we're obviously we're strangers here. I think you should go first. You have the honour of first dibs.
You look across and Serge already has a handful of this. And it's almost, my best way of describing it is almost like how cartoon ham is prepared. It's like a bone and there's a nice kind of leg.
Are we in like
Sticking
Roger
out.
You see the
Rabbit?
smoke,
Yeah.
like white wisps.
It looks delicious. It looks really nice.
Is Pug in this room?
Pug's here, yeah, he's busying himself around the area trying to pick up some of this meat.
Where's the bird, Pug?
What?
Where's the bird?
It's right here, look!
You did not have time to prepare this bird.
Time?
Yes,
We've
time.
been waiting all year for this festival.
We just entered this room. There's no way that you've prepared and cooked this ginormous bird in the blink of an eye.
Where are the giblets?
Where's the
Where are the
feathers?
feathers? The beak? The
Feet.
antlers?
The gribbly bits.
Well, it all goes in.
In where?
Get it down, ya!
I don't think.
Seriously, help yourself. The festival's begun.
Can I pick up a comedy ham bone
Yeah.
and give it a sniff?
Sure.
Or like examine it?
Yeah, so make an investigation roll.
We've
Is there anything particularly you're trying to work out?
to make sure it's a bird.
Slap it and see if you get smoked by lightning. Yeah.
18.
18. It looks extreme. Just looking around the room, it looks extremely like the other pile of meat that's at the other end of the room. It also looks the same as the meat that you saw in the in Blaze's hole in the bed. Whether it's discernible as bird as opposed to other meat, it's quite tricky to be sure. But it doesn't strike you as particularly poultry any more than than any other meat.
So who else is now with us?
You've got Pug, you've got Jody, you've got Serge, and then you've got Daedal. Daedal was the lady who was putting up all the ribbons previously. They're all in there.
I think it's a good idea to go and talk to somebody who isn't completely bonkers.
Up in the behind the waterfall.
Yes.
I agree. I'm going to come
There's
with
something
you.
very, very fishy going on here.
Yeah.
Or meaty.
They're all kind of sat down now, all of them, and they've just got a nice piece of meat in front of them, and they're just starting to just celebrate joyfully, and they're just eating this.
They're starting to eat it.
Apart from Pug, who's stood around, preparing, moving tables about.
Marvellous. Okay, we'll leave you guys to it, and
Yeah. We're going to get the other guests.
yeah, we'll go and get
From-
everybody else down to come and join in.
Yeah.
That's a great idea!
I'm going to stick around.
We're
I'm
gonna
intrigued by the behaviour.
Good luck, friend.
Don't worry, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to
Yeah, I wouldn't.
keep an eye out.
Oh, please do!
from
Please,
the
there's
hole.
plenty to go around!
I think
It might be an idea if you kept moving around as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be...
Keep
yeah.
keep an eye on the
I'll
door.
be in and out of this doorway.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stay with Thorin here.
Okay.
Bring the Brock. It might be that it can help.
We will try. I think you're right. We'll try.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see if.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
I got your back, Thorny.
Don't let it get turned into a pie.
No.
God,
Hey, Pug, you said this was a pie hole. All I see is meat.
Oh, it is!
Where's your pastry?
Oh, it's the festival. We don't use the pastry on the festival day.
Oh, I do.
Just pure bluebird.
Let's go.
Let's get him out. Get out of
So-
here.
Leave the madness
So you're
behind
just
us.
waiting there.
Yeah.
Clara, you're...
With Thorny.
Okay. And the two of you run...
I was
We're-
on the chat right there.
We're heading for the waterfall.
Sure. Yeah. So you two are just watching, observing. They are all celebrating and being joyful and
I'm going to be joyful with
cheering
them,
and
but I'm
happy.
just
Yeah.
intrigued.
There's always one of us outside the door, one inside the
Okay,
door.
sure.
Good plan.
It's just in case.
So Schrodinger's
Don't
cat.
replay.
There must be a point where neither in or out of the door. The two of you kind of push back through the waterfall. That sense of kind of compulsion overtakes you as you hit through it each time. But then you return back down into the cave, and you once again see Aaron, and you see the children, and you see Bismond.
Bismuth or bismuth?
He's introduced himself as both names.
Oh, interesting.
Curious.
Ooh, very curious. Yeah.
Good ears.
It's not what this Lima books. It's not here for nothing.
I reckon Zolan actually has a little bit.
It really does.
He's
as well.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Bismuth. We've killed the bird, and we took it to Pug's Pie Hole, and it vanished.
Vanish.
Into
Yes.
meat.
Yes, we pushed it into the room, and then when we followed it into the room, it wasn't in the room, but there was a big pile of meat in the room where the bird had been.
Everybody's acting like this is completely normal.
A few others mentioned the meat.
There's meat everywhere in this town.
Like piles
I
of
think-
cooked meat.
Yeah.
It's part of the madness.
But like people in Blaze. You went to
The
Blazes.
concern is, the concern is that some of the people have turned into these piles of meat. Or I can't shake the feeling that these piles of meat are actually illusion, and those what is actually there are the things that are supposed to be there, but what we're seeing is piles of meat.
I hope that's true.
In which case there's a giant blue bird in the middle of Pug's Pie Hole, but everybody thinks that they're tucking into a pile of meat that...
I'm not sure if you noticed, but the waterfall is flowing upside down.
Yes.
It hasn't always done that.
We've noticed this.
We had noticed that, yeah.
I suspect that the gods are playing tricks on us.
When did this start? When did the waterfall start flowing in reverse?
A few 10-day.
Any events happening around
Well,
or in the lead up to this change?
Anybody come? Anybody? Any strange visitors? Anything unusual happen directly before all the weirdness kicked off?
nothing that really strikes me. I heard that there was the exodus from Dathcarr Crag. I told you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got
They-
your friends' names
They saw
locked away.
evil there.
We've been told this by the Mountain Men of Baal as well. They have been there, and they're some formidable warriors, and they will not step foot back in Dathcarr Crag. We are potentially going to head up river over the next couple of days to investigate, try and stop this madness.
It could be the elves.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Everyone kind of turns around and looks at them.
What would anybody have to gain from messing with reality or people's minds in this way?
Well, they took everybody from our little market of Foss Brock and took them to Callus. So they've already ruined our whole village. Maybe this is the next thing.
When was this? When were the Brock and the people taken?
Oh, a while ago.
A while? What's a while?
I lose track of time in here, but more than 10 days ago.
More than 10 days ago. Potentially.
A lot more.
Oh, a lot more.
So
10 days?
Did
Probably.
the weirdness start before the Brock were taken or after?
After.
Yes. Which they seem to have a very soothing effect, I can imagine, on us.
So a herd of them might be...
Just enough to keep the town sane.
So maybe this is the normal state for this town, without the Foss Brock, without the Brock.
That's why I think they were taken to Callus, was to literally to make a settlement that was habitable by people. As this settlement's deteriorated, Callus must have...
It was normal here for a
Stabilised.
while after the Brock went.
So it didn't immediately...
Well, not normal. Everyone had gone.
How long have you been here for, Bismuth?
My whole life.
You seem very nonchalant about reverse flowing waterfalls and just potentially your friends and acquaintances just being piles of meat in their beds. Nobody seems to care. This is extremely odd. You
My
sit
whole life.
here atop a rock and...
My whole life has been turned upside down this past year.
And
So why not the water turned upside down?
have you done anything to...
We didn't complete the festival. I told you, if we complete the festival, I hope this go away.
What? Yeah.
But we've completed the festival. The
Well,
bird.
you haven't yet.
We'll eat the bird.
We'll eat the bird.
Will you come and eat the bird?
If as long as I don't lose my mind.
Well, why don't we bring the Brock?
Nobody knows it's here.
Well, nobody's going to.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's nobody from outside the village apart from us, and we're not going to tell anybody.
It's the last Brock. I can't risk it.
I think having it in the middle of town might cure some of the madness.
We might be able to see actually what's
We
going
might be
on,
able-
not
yeah, we
this
might be able-
illusion
might
of...
be able to lift the veil
Yeah.
of craziness around here and see the world for what it really is for a bit. You can always bring it back to the cave. We'll even help.
Make a joint persuasion roll.
With advantage, because the booties!
We've got the booties.
Oh no, +1, sorry. It's just
+1.
+1, yeah, not advantage.
That's a plus
what
one
am I
advantage.
rolling? Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah.
That's pretty strong.
That's 15 plus
Ooh.
1 is 16.
I've got a 20, not natural, with my +3 and my added
That's a good idea.
galosh.
36. That's
Excellent.
Children, stay here.
Up.
Mallory, Malil, you stay here with them. Aaron, look after them.
Have all these people got wool? We don't want to leave them up here
Yes,
woolless.
good.
Has everybody got a handful or a...
Yeah, and a few people can hold some out.
Okay, cool, yeah. Okay, we'll
Right.
we can bring it back.
So they're safe. We can.
Yeah.
It's only temporary. We're just going to take it down to Pug's
Pugs.
Pie Hole, and I'd like to take it down to the coal
That's fair.
hole as well and see what's going on down there before we do anything else.
Okay.
Right.
So
It can get very dirty in there.
I will come
Look
to
at the in.
Oh, Aaron.
Aaron comes along as well. So it's the four of you, and Bismond kind of jumps down off of the Brock. You see this rock stand up. It looks a little bit off balance, awkward, like it hasn't perhaps been mobile recently. It's a bit rusty and stiff in its legs, and it walks along up the slight incline and kind of pushes back through the waterfall. Aaron and Bismond kind of hold on to it as they push through. And if you can again all give me your kind of charisma saves with advantage.
9.
Back to the exam.
Yeah.
Back to the
That's 10.
Okay. So you're pushing back through, and you can sense your compulsions to an extent, but you're able to control them enough. But they're pushing on you. They're pushing on you, nagging in the back of your head. You come back across with this Brock now into the centre of town. You can still see Hill Haley, the lady stood with the frizzy orange hair, stood behind the little market store in the centre, near these.
Selling wool.
Yes.
Nice.
And she doesn't really look up at it. She notices you, but she doesn't pay you particular attention. And you walk back across Bisman shows. Good morning, Haleli. Hello. Are you doing well? Well. He looks back down and just keeps walking forward with
She's selling wool. How come she's still affected by the...
What, counterfeit?
She doesn't. She doesn't have any wool.
It's armpit hair.
She's illusioned.
Ah, right. Okay.
They keep walking the Brock up to the pie hole and kind of get it to the door.
Yeah.
This creature is gigantic, a really big creature that's larger than the door.
I think you're gonna ask...
Whoa, don't put it in!
No,
I'm going to ask it remains outside and we'll...
we don't want him to go in.
Yeah, we'll look in first.
So I'll send the 2 halflings in to have a look, see for themselves what's going on.
Well, it's Bismond and Aaron who's called with
Bismond
you.
and Aaron, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so Aaron's the elf.
Yep.
So they kind of walk in, Aaron ducking his head to fit under this doorway, and he meets you two, are kind of at the doorway, lingering in and out repeatedly. From your perspective, nothing's changed. They're just joyfully enjoying the meat now and really celebrating, laughing, cheering.
It is looking tasty.
I mean, it does. It's got a really nice smell to it. It's meaty. It's very unctuous. Yeah.
Don't eat the meat!
Oh, you're Al's Matt Berry.
That's what I was going for. I was like, what voice did I want? Oh yeah, it was Matt Berry. You and he were buddies.
Aaron walks inside. Hello? Pharaoh, Thorinir?
How... Are you racing towards this meat?
It looks good.
But you're
seeing meat.
just gonna pull his eyelid.
What are you doing?
I think he's alright.
Aaron, can you see the meat?
Yes, obviously.
That's what do you mean? Oh. Anyway,
It's everywhere.
Yeah, but this isn't right. Like they just killed this creature and it just became meat.
Look at you! You would get some good meat down you, wouldn't you, son? He's looking at Aaron. And he just comes up to him with a big leg of it. No? He kind of looks at you for guidance.
Reap says don't eat the meat.
It's now.
Trust me.
I am quite hungry. But no, I guess.
Don't do it, Aaron. It's
We're
magic.
waiting to see. This is some bad magic meat.
Bismond kind of walks in now with the Brock. The room's darkened because the Brock's slightly obscuring the natural light from outside. There is some fire underneath the bubbling cauldron of sorts that's in there. And Bismond walks in. Hello, Serge? Jody? Pug? How are you? Oh! Bismond! We haven't seen you for a while! Guess what? The big blue man beat the blue bird! Have some meat! And Bismond looks at him. I will. And he kind of goes up to...
Bismond, wait. Let me check the meat first. I'm a bit of a health and safety guru
Executive.
It's
in
just,
this subject.
it's just meat. This will complete the festival.
Just give me a second. Kind of touch the floor. What is the floor made of?
The floor is kind of a stone slabs.
Damn right it is.
Damn right.
Touches the stone, closes his eyes. You know that this is the texture that pulls forth detect magic. Opens his eyes. What green does he see?
The room is fairly green.
Everything.
So all of the meat, particularly, is.
Oh yeah,
is
no, I
green.
made a pact not to eat green meat from an early age.
Yeah. There are very, very slight effects coming from the wall.
Yeah.
It's really mild.
Yeah.
And the Brock in the doorway has a mild glow as well. It's nothing like the strong. It's not as bright as all the meat by a long shot. Everything else, there's areas that aren't green. It's not like the same.
What's not green?
So most of the room isn't green.
Okay.
So whereas you were in the room previously in Blaze's hole.
Yeah.
The whole room is green there, but here
It's just the meat.
it seems to pretty much be the meat, but there is perhaps a very thin veil of very, very, very dim green just in the air. So it exists in the room.
You have the ability to see magic.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you dispel it? Could you?
You might
Waft it
remember
away.
a certain tiff I had with our blue friend last time round, in that I mostly magics that are aggressive. So don't kick me off again.
No, it's okay.
I can attempt to purify meat, but I don't think.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, I don't think it would
Bismuth,
work.
have a go.
What?
Have the meat.
He's basically already there. You know,
Okay.
he looks. We need to complete the ceremony.
Okay, go.
And the
go.
festival
Knock yourself
will
out.
revert back to
Yeah.
as it
Complete
once
the
was.
ceremony.
We're just gonna watch.
How's
him.
the Brock? If we look back to the Brock, Brock's all right.
Brock
it's not
is
a
out
pile
the
of
doorway
meat.
still, yeah, kind of stood there.
Half in,
It's
half
kind of
out?
sniffing the room a little bit. Perhaps it likes the aromas. But yes, people are just tucking in now. Bismuth is, he stood up, the others are kind of sat down, regaling one another. They're kind of talking about the fight and how strange it was that Norris didn't attack for such a long time. And Pug's just busying himself, but also getting a few sneaky bites in from time to time. It just looks like he's trying to get past the Brock. He's kind of, has anyone seen my ladle?
No.
And they're just carrying on, and they're just kind of gorging themselves on this meat, and they're very, very happy and
Guys,
in a great place.
I've got an idea. If it turned into meat when it came in here, what happens to it when it leaves? We could do a little experiment.
That was a very good idea.
So he's going to grab a leg of meat. That's fine. And walk outside of it.
Sure, yeah. So as you grab it, you pick it up. Yeah, and you pick it up. Can you just give me a charisma save?
Whatever you do, don't bite into it.
15.
It's a human
15.
leg.
You feel at the back of your mind, you feel that kind of horror that you felt previously, but you manage to catch it and shut it before it envelops you, and you keep hold of this meat without anything overtaking you.
Okay. And he's going to take it outside?
Okay, you have to kind of push past this Brock as you do so. It kind of steps out of the way.
Yeah. Did it have a name? Do we know the name of this Brock?
Winnie.
Winnie.
If you asked Bismuth.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so you don't know.
Okay. Out the way, boy.
His name is Glade.
Out the way, Glade.
It just kind of
It's a bit of a
makes a
glade
little bit of
on
a
it.
snorting sound. It takes a step to the side. So you exit back into this
So into the sunlight.
stone right-angled town, past the water channels, back to this big, beautiful gateway with the foliage and verdant greenery kind of hanging down off of it.
A boy and his owl walking away with meat.
Yes, carrying it, and remember it's got this kind of grassy walkway that spans over this river that enters into it. And as you start to walk away from it, you just feel this sense as you get onto the bridge. You guys are all still in the room, I'm assuming, and onto the bridge, and just slightly away from that bridge, you just get this sense that your mind is clearing. Any compulsion that you might have had previously is just leaving you, and you're getting clarity of mind again. And you look down to what you're holding, and it looks like a fairly unpleasant, ripped apart, perhaps feathered shin of a bird.
So they're all manically eating an uncooked bird.
Poultry, not good for you.
But it looks great.
Can I take a moment to suggest that we don't go into Blazes and take a handful of that?
I'm interested to see which part you get.
Cool, so he's going to turn around back into town, head back to the pie hole, and tell the team what he's experienced.
Okay, so you head back into there.
Just a turbo through that.
Yeah, sure. And you relay that information back on to the group. The others are kind of busying themselves.
Have you brought it back with you?
Yeah.
It's turned back into meat.
It's great looking meat. Yeah, so it turns out, not great looking meat, just ripped apart bits of dead bird.
Right, okay.
So actually, we'd probably be better off shipping everyone out of town. If we can't fix the town,
Yeah,
get the people out of town.
agreed. I think so.
Yeah.
Then we just burn it down. It's an option. I just leave it out there.
Take off, nuke the site from
It's just
orbit.
an option.
Yeah, I think if it's going to lift the enchantment, they're not safe here. They can't keep eating raw bird.
Pug's got a big meat cleaver. He's just kind of chopping at the meat
Yeah,
on the table.
especially if they ever find out what happened to Blaze, who I think pretty much is that pile of meat that was in his
Oh,
bedroom.
what if they tried to eat him? It's gross.
Yeah, let's get them out of
We'll
here.
get them out before they do that.
Yeah.
If we bring a piece of meat as for illustrations,
Hang on.
look.
Then what? The bodies that are piles of meat, we have to know what happened to them.
Why?
If we drag up, because it could tell us the nature of what's happened here.
Very true.
If I could look at a body without the magic on it, I might be able to discern the way they died.
So we go to Blazes, get the whole pile of meat.
Big bold bag, any old
Big
meat, any
Well,
closest meat.
we know. Well, we've got a fair idea that was Blaze. So, if we get that whole pile, maybe get it wrap it in the bed sheets or something, and take
Yeah.
it out of the town.
It's on the bed sheets.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Oh,
Let's do it.
perfect.
Okay,
But
let's do
rope
it.
us, because we might get stuck in that room forever.
I think Zolan's
shit,
like
yeah.
huffing up a little bit.
Yeah, but,
No.
no, I think that's good. I think that's a good idea. We can find out how he died, maybe.
Yeah.
Remembering what you just kind of saw holding it in your hand, you just look up again at them all kind of savagely
It's gross.
eating at this
Yeah.
meat. It's really just makes you recoil.
But he has no feeling that he should stop them doing it.
Well,
It's a
no,
little bit like indifferent.
Sure, yeah.
I think Let's confirm our suspicions.
It's best they don't know.
Yeah, at the moment, probably best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell Erin. Don't eat the meat.
So, okay. Fine.
Well, he's probably overheard our conversation anyway, hasn't he? So
Well, if you were saying it with him in the area,
yeah.
so I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine that you did. You think these piles of meat are other birds?
The bird.
Well, that one we think is the bird. We know that one is the bird, as Clara has just demonstrated. We think the other piles of meat might be inhabitants of the town.
Dead residents.
That's what we're going to try and find out.
Could you illustrate that with a hand wave as well?
There's a pile of meat in Blaze's cabin.
Malil and Melly and the other girls and the halflings here. The halflings here were their parents and their family and their
Probably
friends.
best that we don't involve the townspeople in checking this one out.
If anything, actually, Aaron, you should probably take the Brock and the guys back to the cave
Yeah.
and hide.
Mm-hmm.
Is Melly or Mallory in this room? It's the only person I want to save.
You can't see Melly or Mallory
Alright.
or Malil.
Too much
Malil.
meat.
I don't know
Any of
Malil.
them
Melly,
is-
yeah, that's fine. If I don't see them,
Okay.
I'm with the party.
Sure. Okay, and Bismond?
He's, he should probably come with you as well.
Yeah, you
Actually, everyone should come with you.
everyone that you can get back to the cave, get them back to the cave.
But Bismond's kind of slightly hearing. We need to finish the meat.
No,
Complete the
no.
festival.
No, mate.
No, you need to get back to the cave. You need to get everybody back to the cave. Trust us on this. Please.
Give him a persuasion roll.
Oh dear.
+1.
Luckily, you're a bard. Oh no.
No, no, I'm a monk. Not a very trustworthy one at that. That's +1. That's 8 plus my boots.
No,
Nine.
finishing the festival. It'll cure the madness.
I don't trust him
me.
anyway. Let's leave him.
Okay.
He's done nothing to save
Let's
this town.
let's
so.
find out. Let's.
Oh, you're not going already, are you?
No, we'll be back.
Please, please, it's delicious.
No, listen, Pug, you're full of it. We're getting out of here.
Punch
We've got
him.
things to do.
No. Order. No, none of that happens.
Okay, so yeah, all the halflings kind of give you a little look, but then just return to their
Yeah,
ravaging.
So to the elf, do what you can. Get them to the cave if you can. We'll be back in a little while.
I'll be able to.
As we walk back, Malcolm, I've got a gut feeling. You'll like that. It's a funny joke. As long as they don't leave the town, they'll probably be okay. But the moment they leave, that's all going to turn into grossness in their stomachs. They might even just like explode.
This has occurred to me.
Yeah. Gross, right?
So
might be an idea to leave them in the town for now.
Pretty cool though.
You think?
Have you ever seen anything like this when you were in the military?
No. There wasn't an awful lot of enchanted meat around.
Probably have piles of decapitated bodies.
Piles of there was a few,
But no mass illusions?
no. Nothing like this.
Pretty cool.
Aaron kind of leads Glade, the Brock,
Yeah.
back towards the waterfall. He turns to you, he says, "What are you doing?"
We're going to go and bury Blaze.
Okay.
We hear he was a hero here and he deserves a rightful burial.
If there's any way you find to overcome this illusion, or if there's any other safe haven you find for these children, tell me. I will guard them until then.
We will.
Appreciate the 2 outcomes.
It's better than one. There is doom.
So yeah, we're going to walk into the old Blaze hole.
Propping the door open.
Yes, please.
We're going to do like a human chain.
Oh, we should do a human chain.
That's a good idea. So I'm going to get the 4 corners of the bed sheet, wrap them up, tie them off.
You're on the end of the human
with
chain.
all the meat in the bag,
Yeah.
and pass it out.
I'm not out. I'm not touching it. I'll just drop on my
Is it
feet.
dripping?
Yeah.
Zolan, you should.
No, it's cooked.
It's part of the human chain.
No, I run.
You notice the scorch marks from the fireball that was blasted previously. You notice that all the items that were remaining on the table, if there were any, I think you took most of them. And
During combat.
yeah. And then, yes, you're able to bundle up this meat. So you're carrying it, Malcolm. Able to bundle up this meat with your human chain. The door retains its location. You do look up and it's that leak again from the corner. It gives you the shivers. But you manage to do so. It's quite heavy. And then you can return out with it kind of bundled up.
Is it? I never really established. Blaze was a halfling.
We'll find out.
Don't know if you're talking.
Go out tonight.
What was the entrance to the door like? Was it a halfling-sized door that we
It is a
walked through?
halfling-sized door.
I would
yeah.
assume he's a halfling. We'll make that assumption.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a halfling-sized hat.
Halfling-sized pile of meat.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
So myself and Malcolm are dragging this.
Yeah. Between the two of us.
You can join us, Thorinir, if you want to.
Just amazed that meat can be not meat. This is dark stuff.
Well, we'll find out in a minute.
Okay,
So we're dragging it
drag
out
back
of
through.
town.
You see Hill Haley again.
Yeah.
Any wool for you?
Hey, hello.
No thanks.
Do you want to come with us? Want to help us out?
It's the festival, you know.
I'll gesture to these guys. Do you want to take her out of town? Maybe.
She hasn't eaten any of the meat.
No.
Hopefully.
Break the
Do you wanna-
illusion.
Do you want to?
But she's just a poor old lady.
This isn't the ribbon lady, is it?
No.
The shop lady.
It's not a bad idea.
See what
It's not a
happens.
bad
It would
idea,
be
yeah.
interesting to see what happens to somebody who's from here.
If not, there's the Brock just outside of town. Might be able to calm her down.
Yeah. That Brock's not so good.
Still had a soothing effect on our persons.
True.
Been there a while though. No.
Just shaking and looking at you.
Let's.
Wool?
All right, let's go to the festival then. Follow us to the festival.
I have to work the stand.
We need all the wool you can bring for the festival.
Give her a persuasion roll. Persuasion going on today.
Solid.
That's not going to be good, is it? 10.
Oh, you got your booties on?
Yeah, I got my boots with my
Okay.
booty.
And she just kind of stumbles towards you a little bit. She's really shaky. You know, she's not good enough feet at all. You can see she's quite withered and quite frail.
I'll link an arm
Is she
with her.
like noticeably slowing us down?
If we're dragging
Yeah,
a body, so.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
So-
Similar pace. Yeah, she kind of
small
walks with you. She's wearing. She's just
Only a little
shaky and
body,
a bit
and there's 2 of us.
sketchy.
Still gross.
The frizzy hair,
It's a
almost
body.
whitey green skin. It's a bit off colour.
Just be grateful we use the bedding and not your cloak.
Yeah.
And the group of you are kind of walking in that direction. Where are we going?
Well, the location is it's moved on. It's really happening.
The party's going on outside. Come and have a look. Come with us.
They went in the pile.
No, you just missed them. They're out of there. They've got the meat.
Oh. And you start to walk back towards that big archway, dragging this meat in a blanket.
Meat in a
back
blanket.
towards this beautiful archway. Again, you're kind of
be the name of
enamored
this
by
week's
this
episode.
wonderful sight in front of you. This upflowing waterfall, this foliage hanging down, and this grass bridge that kind of is naturally formed over this river. And again, similar experience to Claire, just as you start to walk away back over this narrow bridgeway, pulling it with Hill Haley there as well. You just start to get this kind of clarity back in your mind, just for the first time, like it's all almost been dreamlike or otherworldly. You're just back to your senses, and you kind of feel compos mentis again as you head out.
Compos and mentis.
And as you look at Hill Haley now, you realise just how frail she is. She's down to the bone.
Meat?
She's got barely any muscle on her at all. She's really, really.
You should eat some meat.
Yeah.
She looks starved.
I
Question
can.
is, how long has she been enchanted for? If she's been standing there,
Why did you ask her?
she's not going to know.
How do you feel?
Oh, Haley, how
Haley?
long you been feeling ill?
She looks around at all of you one by one. What's happened?
We think
Madness.
you've been enchanted.
What do you mean?
There's a magic over your town that is causing you to be confused.
I feel ill.
You are ill.
You are ill.
Who are you people? You're not
Have we got a
halfling.
collective name yet?
The Destroyers of Kalos, the Banishers of Broga, that lot. I'm Bert in Broga.
Just looking around confused. Like,
How are you feeling?
Ill.
When was the last day you remember?
I was just at my market stand. Have you seen my daughters,
Called.
Mallory and Malil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're both alright. A little loopy.
Are they in Callus?
No.
No, they're in the town.
Yeah.
Oh. I feel like I haven't seen them. Can you take me to them?
Yes,
We'll
we
bring
will.
them to you.
We'll bring them out to you. Just
Okay.
I'm going to give him a water skin and a ration back.
Yeah.
Just have a drink.
And she kind of takes it
And
from
this
you, and you see
crumpet.
her shaking still. She's still
Yeah.
in a shake. She takes it for you. She's kind of spilling a little bit of it out of the top of it.
That's fine.
And
She
she,
can
she kind of really guzzles it down, drinks it in like she hasn't drunk for a long time. That's how it appears to you. Really spilling it down the sides of her cheeks, and it rolls down, and you can see kind of her eyes are bloodshot. She kind of passed you, and what did you pass her a ration?
a ration, yeah.
And she takes that, and equally she just starts to pick at it and eat it quite quickly.
Yeah.
And you can see she's really forcing it down. She looks really hungry.
You might want to turn your back.
that's right.
At the moment, yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't go anywhere, but just turn your back.
Just
We need to identify something
She
that.
just turns her back and
yeah.
just eating
Okay, so
rations.
we're going to sort of all crowd around so that trying to block the view of whatever's inside this makeshift sack.
Yeah.
We ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I've seen bodies before, Malcolm.
Yeah, it could have been there a while though.
Yeah.
Undo the bag.
Okay, you are greeted. You're greeted by the body of a halfling, who looks like he's been dead for more than a day.
Yeah.
The skin's a bit taut. Also looks a bit frail, male, and yeah.
Does he look
body.
absolutely disgusting or just dead?
Yes. How?
It's not hunks and chunks.
Yes.
The smell isn't overtaking you, so it doesn't seem
Okay.
like it's a long time rotted cadaver.
Yeah.
But it's been dead for more than.
Have you
24 hours.
finished your lunch, Hill Haley?
And she just turns back around
What?
and says,
Have you?
"Yes, thank you."
Could you identify this man for us?
just covering over the body just so that she can see the face.
Yeah.
And she turns back around. Please!
Please.
What if...
There's an extreme madness set on your town, and I'm afraid many of your friends have probably starved to death during this madness. You are not far yourself from starving to death.
What?
Well, I'm going to just have a closer look at the body and see if there's any sort of signs of violence.
So if you want to make a medicine roll?
Oh, 20.
Nice.
Natural 20 plus 2.
So you notice some long-term scars. They seem to be very old scars. They've healed over and have properly created scar tissue. And there's you certainly had some forms of conflict in his past, but you don't sense that the time of his death, these scars, these seem older than the time of his death.
He wasn't violently murderfied.
No, the other thing that stands out to you is he's incredibly frail. He looks malnourished. His skin's yellowed. He's just it's taut around his bones.
I think
Maybe
you're
he
right.
just
I think
died
they
of
starved to
starvation.
death.
I think many people in this town will have died of starvation just
And
during
then
this
just-
madness and delusion.
And as they fell, they turned into piles of meat.
Yes.
I think the best thing we can do is get everyone out of the town.
Yep.
I don't know how to dispel this magic.
I fear it's, as everybody keeps saying it, Dathcarr Crag, something is...
Yeah.
My children
Yeah.
are safe.
They are.
Yes.
Your children are
We're going
safe.
to bring them to
They
you.
are safe.
Yes, we need to get everybody out of the town
Yeah.
and show them
How are we going to do this?
Blaze.
Drag them if we have to.
Yeah,
Make
they're-
them sleep.
Where will we go?
Here, for the moment.
Well, you stay here. We're going to bring everybody else out of the town, and then we'll figure out what to do.
I think I'm going to stay with this woman, just for the meantime. She's quite a shy. I don't want to leave her with a dead body of a friend or acquaintance, or maybe a husband. Don't know their relationship, but I don't want to
Good idea.
run it off.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna, I think it's, I want to leave her with a dead person. It's a bit
Okay.
cruel.
We'll bury him when we're back.
Right. So we start. We'll
Has
drag him
everyone
out
got
by-
their wool?
Yes.
Because we're going back in, so
We'll drag him out if we have to.
Does anyone want extra wool?
yes.
Yes.
Especially for I
Extra
worry
wool.
about
I
him.
think.
Oh, oh no!
So the three of you kind of returning back into
Yeah.
the town. So as you walk away, she's kind of stood there, just kind of
Should we go
just
get
in
the elf?
shock,
I'll
really.
sit her down at the bank, put an arm around
Don't
her,
worry
and
about the-
just
Oh, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we.
can't really say it's all
We need
right.
to go and
but
take the meat,
we'll-
lure them out.
they're going to save everybody they can.
That's
Oh,
That's not bad.
Thank
Oh, we've got a
you.
new follower. Who's that, please,
can't
Clara?
read
I
that.
can't read because someone start with a K. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I'm glad you're
Special
enjoying
K.
the show. Thank you.
That's not actually a bad idea. If we could drag the pile of meat out, maybe they'd follow us.
Meat.
At least until they got to the gateway and realised what it was that they were eating.
What do we drag it with the Brock?
With the bedsheet.
With the bedsheet?
It's a big pile of meat. This is a big bird.
Yeah, okay.
I can't get into my baby bell. I'm frustrated.
Oh,
Okay.
There are a
only-
lot of problems.
They're only halflings,
Yeah.
and not particularly fit halflings at that. I don't think they'd put up much of a fight if we wanted to drag them out one by one.
Maybe we get the children first.
Yeah, fair enough.
Highest priority.
Yeah, get the ones that aren't crazy. So we'll go to the waterfall.
Yeah. So you're going to return back to the waterfall. You get similar feelings as you pass back through it. You return back inside, and you've got Mallory, Malil, 7 or 8 children who were in Weird Wit, and Aaron in there with Glade, the Brock.
Right. Good news and bad news. The good news is
Do you need to tell me this away from the children?
no.
they're going to find out one way or the other. The good news is we've got your mother, and she's safe outside the village.
The little girl, Malil.
She's safe. We want to take you to her. If you leave the village, the enchantment is lifted. It's only within the village. We need to get you, the children, everybody
Look at your beard.
out. Now.
Okay. And the children. Up, children! And Mallory, the elder of the halflings that you met in Callus, stands, takes her little sister's hand, takes a couple of the children's hand in her other hand as well, and there's about 8 of them here.
Mallory, the children trust her, so yes, take the children and go out to the village. You'll find your mother out there. Stay with her.
Aaron kind of goes and stands with the Brock as well, and the Brock coming too.
We'll go over and talk to Aaron away from the children for this bit, I think.
Okay, fine. So they start to get up. The creature's kind of waiting here with you guys at the moment, but Aaron remains as the children kind of shuffle up close to Mallory. She kind of takes control of them all.
Right. So once she's led the children off, then we'll talk to Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Malcolm?
The piles of meat, it would appear that they are the townsfolk.
Okay.
Whatever this enchantment is doing, some of them have died, and when they die, they turn into the illusion of these piles of meat.
Which is why the bird was transformed into the illusion. This all makes sense. As much sense
for a given value of sense.
Badu was interested in the madness, as was Gorik.
Well, it only seems to be within the confines of the village. Once we get outside of the village, we took a pile of meat from Blaze's home, took it outside, and it turned back into a deceased Blaze. But it looks like he starved to death.
This magic is strong.
Yeah, which is why we need to get everybody out. But we need your help to get everybody from Pug's place, because they don't seem to be too keen to leave the meat behind.
They're also not going to feel very well once they leave.
Yeah, once they leave, they're not.
You can put it together. They're eating.
They're eating raw dead bird, basically.
In his words.
You look after those children, I'll get everybody. Give me a minute.
You think? Okay.
Cool.
All right.
And
Happy to oblige.
make sure you have some wool. And he pushes back up and he kind of catches up, almost with the back of the children. Just instructs them again to go out to the front and pushes back through the waterfall.
Thorina, you've been quite quiet on this one. Does the disease in your forest cause madness like this?
No madness, just death.
Ouch.
No madness, just death, decay.
Okay.
So you're in the cave at the moment. You're returning to.
Echo.
It's quite small. Doesn't echo that much.
I'm done.
Okay, returning to the exterior of the town
I reckon.
again.
Yeah, we'll take
Pushing
them.
back through. Okay, you see Aaron heading towards Pugs.
We'll take all the children with us.
Sure, they're all there, and you all once again push through that veil of madness that enshrines the border of the city or the market, and all of the children just kind of again rubbing their eyes and just feeling a bit relieved that the sunlight's bright each time you come back out. They're all wet, remember, from this waterfall, and the two girls also kind of push back out with you. Look, have you covered over the body, or is that still?
We would have probably had the face. Yeah, I don't think I would have looked at it. I would have probably just been comforting Hill Haley. So
you see this group return to you
from
outside, and one of the children kind of spots that man on the ground, and you kind of notice them point to Blaze lying.
I'll run over and just wrap the blanket around him so that they can't see.
Is he dead?
Yes. Yes, he is.
And Mallory just kind of takes the child's hand quite tightly and and gives them a cuddle. Come over here and look in the water. And just kind of...
I'm not sugarcoating it for these kids.
Yeah.
They've seen enough.
She's like, I think there's a fish. Can you see a fish? And she's just trying to distract them and cheer them up a little bit.
Is there a fish?
At that exact point,
The fish.
at that exact point, Malil looks over and notices the lady that you all sat with, and runs to her, Mum! And she goes and wraps her arms around her. Mallory notices as well. Just see if you can see him. Don't go in the water. And she don't go in the water. Wrong voice. And she returns back over to her mum, and she too kind of looks at her. The mother stands up. You see a tear kind of welling up in the corner of her eye as she sees their daughters again for the first time in a long time. And the three of them just embrace and hug one another.
Hey guys, we did that. We did that.
Done something
Yeah.
good.
Something good about that. Right.
Badua!
I think we should bury our friend here.
We could burn the body, or do you want to properly bury him?
I don't know. Mallory, what do you do around here with your deceased?
What's your burial ritual?
Kind of
Bury
turns back
them.
around from you as Malil and Hilhaley are cuddling, and you can see her eyes are totally welled up. She's got a tear in her eye. She's kind of wipes it away with her sleeve, kind of covering it up. Who's died?
Blaze.
Place. The Matador. Was it the Periton?
Hunger. He died of hunger
Hunger.
during this magic. Let's overcome the town.
Well, I don't know if anyone's died while I've been here. You could ask my ma.
Okay.
I think it's best if we leave her alone for the time being. Let's just cover the body over and wait.
We just bury him.
Well, we could just bury him.
Could just bury him.
After a moment, so you see some bodies appearing from the gate, and you see Aaron, who's leading Pug,
Oh, this could be messy.
Surge,
We might want to get the children out of the way.
Jody, and
No, I'm serious. We might want to get the
Dale.
children out of the way.
I think Pug needs his stomach punched.
and they're all being just shepherded quite forcefully by Aaron. They don't seem to be willingly coming necessarily.
Aaron.
He's just kind of got them all, and he's kind of pushing them out a little bit.
I have to be honest, Malcolm. I kind of want to see what happens here.
Yeah, but do you want the children to see it?
It's an important part of their becoming adults. Seeing raw giant birds turn into, cooked bird turn into raw bird in the stomach of a halfling.
What about raw bird into raw humanoid?
Each of them are still holding their meat as well. So they've all, apart from Pug, so three of them have the meat there.
I really want to see what happens now.
I think they need to see this.
Oh, joy.
They all get to this point. So you're all on this kind of thinnish, grassy bridge
bring 'em out.
over this
Head
river.
up. Right.
Stood there, big group of halflings with an elf, a few humans, the gnome, and everybody else stood here in the sun. As it's still very beautiful and idyllic, this area. And they all kind of emerge outside with their meat, and they're adjusting their eyes a little bit to what they see in front of them, and you see this haze fall away from their mind.
Which one do you think's going to throw up first?
And they all, before they look down, they kind of look across and see everybody.
How's the festival?
At that point,
Hey guys, how you feeling?
at that point, Dadle looks down at her hand. This is the lady with the ribbons. Previously,
Good.
There's a vicious streak to you.
looks over, and Melly, sorry, is the other one that I forgot to mention. Melly is with them also. And they all emerge. Dadle looks down, just kind of screams, and she just throws it into the river. This feathery
It's a beak.
mess that she had in her hand. It just throws it, and the other two look down and just kind of. One of them drops it, and the other one just stood there. Surge is just looking at it in his wheelchair.
Could be a very appropriate name right now.
Oh. What is that? What you served us, Pug? You don't cook it! And Pug's looking at him. Oh! What on earth has happened there? I'm so sorry, I'll get you a fresh one right now.
No,
Aaron just puts his hand on him and stops them. There's something you should know.
3.
Melly looks back across and she sees you all. It's great to see you all.
Nice to
What's
see you
happening? And she sees Aaron and Aaron runs up to her and kind of embraces her again. It's good to see you, Melly. It's just, striking just how much larger he is. She kind of has to bend down to give her a hug. Melly and everybody starts to slowly reveal to one another what's been taking place. Relaying on all the stories that have taken place over the last few days, the madness, all the same things that you've been relaying on. You realise Melly also runs over to Dadle, seeing her and the two of them embrace. You realise that that's her mother. She's found her mother here as well. And so this was the lady with putting all the ribbons up. Melly was her daughter.
Never liked Melly, really.
And they were talking, those two particularly, discussing a lot about how they were taken away to Callus. You hear stories of what took place. You hear the stories of how the soldiers came from Foss Brock, to Foss Brock from Callus to set up this new town of Callus. They needed workers to work the wool of the Brocks. They needed the Brocks themselves. They kidnapped them. Some died in the process. They took the songbirds like Malil and a few of the others. Some of the stories that you relayed on to Aaron, you hear him discussing with Melly about the fruit and the nails and everything else and the finger. Melly, the children have nowhere to go now. This was their sanctuary after Weirdwit. But now they cannot go to Callus. We cannot take them to Weirdwit. I don't think they can stay here at Foss Brock.
I don't think we should take them to Dathcarr Crag.
No.
Oh, definitely not.
That is definitely the direction we are going.
That's where we're going, definitely.
Brogerbush is an option.
I was thinking
we have
that.
friends in Brogerbush, and even my friends will think it's a stretch, but even Broger, under its new government, should be fairly safe.
Broger Bush was very hostile when we left. Broger,
my concern is with Broger, if they were going to Broger Bush, getting to Holmes' place without a guide would be difficult, if not deadly. He quite likes his privacy. We only got in there because I know my way.
I'm sure some of the
He's got
characters...
a nasty streak, has he?
Well, he likes his privacy.
I'm sure Hauser and the rest were talking about leaving anyway, that it was too dangerous for even them to stay there. Holm might be there, but the other guys might have...
I wouldn't guarantee it. I think Broger, as long as they don't mention us, they should be all right. I mean, even if the corrupt government was still there, it was still a functioning town. People were going about their business.
Aaron, there's a man in Broger called Garak. He runs a galosh shop.
Everyone flashes him.
Probably runs the town by now.
He will be most likely the mayor of the town now. He has publicly made us outlaws, but he knows that we helped save the town. So if you mention our names to him and him alone,
quietly,
then you'll have safe passage there. There are a number of farms which are now derelict and places you can stay.
One more thing, Aaron. Did you catch our noble champion on your roundup of the halflings? Nolus in particular.
I do not.
Have you seen him?
I cannot say I've seen him.
We have to get all the meat in case it's Nolus.
I think he'll be fine. He'll catch up.
He didn't appear to be dead.
Neither did that. Oh, I did.
I saw him.
The bird was definitely
him walking off.
Walking off?
Melly.
Which way?
Away from the amphitheatre. He was huge.
He was ginormous.
How long does that last? Does anyone know?
No idea.
He's not usually that big.
I know. Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah.
From Weirwood.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah. And Garrus and...
Yeah, we might have they're
It's a long story, man.
You told me the story, but
yeah.
You must save her, of course.
We need to go to Dathcarr Crag
My brother
first,
Yeah.
and then on our return,
Yeah.
we will be picking up Garrus and Jingo.
And we will.
Yeah.
We will go back for them, but there's not much point in us going there without going to Dathcarr Crag first.
Yeah. They'll just kill us if we return.
Yeah.
No.
Beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Bismond, if we leave now. The sun will be getting low.
Go to Broga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the way to Broga.
There's a ramp in now. You won't even have to take
yeah, there is, yeah.
the aerial route.
Fully regulation.
Okay. Well,
Stick to the roads, be careful, and be mindful that almost everything at the moment around here could be a threat.
And lastly, which direction to Dathcarr Crag?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. How do we get to Dathcarr Crag?
Dathcarr Crag is to do not restart now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Is what
get
Aaron
rid of that.
says.
Restart. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Okay. Windows update.
Oh yeah, that's
Midstream. That would have been good.
Can you imagine it?
Say your question again.
The fastest way to Dathcarr
Fastest-
Crag.
If you follow the river past, it'll run up on above you on that tier above you. But if you keep that to your left and head northeast, you'll hit it.
Is there a road? Because this river just is a flowing stream of madness. If we can take an extra day to take the road, I think that would be a bit safer to our party.
There is a track that runs between the two.
How much longer would it be to take the track?
It is a little longer, but
Is there towns on the way? Do we go through
it
settlements
is
that
not
way?
far. It is the nearest settlement.
Is it?
How far?
Cool.
How far? A day? 2 days?
10 miles.
Oh,
Oh right.
not
Also-
far at all.
This Brock seems to be one of the few things that has protection against the madness. It might be beneficial for us to take it with us. I know it's a big ask, but it might be useful when we're in Dathcarr Crag. I can only assume it's going to be exponentially worse.
This
than
is
Foss Brock.
potentially the last Brock as well.
Yeah.
If
And-
you are taking Glade, then I will come too.
No. No.
It's going to be messy.
They're gonna need him.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll take as much wool as we can carry.
Shave that puppy clean.
So you still took, you previously shaved a reasonable size.
I gave mine up to the party when they had
Jacket
back
out
in.
of it.
Yeah, there's between the amount you shaved off a decent amount. So between that,
We've
you
taken enough.
can take a good armful each from.
Can someone
from
knit
what?
me a fake beard?
Snood. Before we go, I am going to make one more trip back into town just to leave a message for Nollis because just at one at the waterfall and one at Blaze's house. In case he comes through, we can state that we've taken. Are we taking the track or we will?
We'll take the track.
We've taken the track to Dathcarr Crag. 10 miles out the entrance. Turn. Out the entrance. Turn right.
North.
Out the entrance.
Turn north.
Turn north. Yes. I'm gonna head in.
Zolan won't
Yeah.
be the one taking the
And
direction.
there'll be all those back and forths. On the right, is it?
Yeah. So I'll record 2 of those.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave one at the waterfall and one at Blaze's place. And they will be in a 10-foot sphere. If you come into the 10-foot sphere, they'll just continuously
I
move.
would leave one.
This
Actually,
message.
I would instead of Blaze's place, I would leave one on the stage.
I can make a 3rd, but it means my little clockwork toy I made for these little girls is just going to disintegrate back into my gold scraps.
We're fine with
Right,
that.
they're distracted. At the,
True,
at the
yeah.
very end of your message, I'm showing. Don't eat the meat.
Don't eat the meat, yeah.
Whatever
Don't
you
eat the
do,
meat.
don't eat the meat.
Cool, yeah. Well,
Yes.
if I haven't got to roll anything, Zolan would have made a trip into town and deposited.
You may have had
These
some slight
messages.
exam-like compulsions upon the journey, but
Oh,
I'm happy eventually you could overcome
yeah.
with a series of party members returning to grab you.
Does that take as long as a short rest?
If you
Only
want to
an
take
hour.
a short rest, you can take a short rest.
I'd love to.
But where are you taking it? On the bridge?
Yeah, as we're all standing around, just
Sounds like one. I'd love a bit of a rest.
A
It's been
cheeky
quite
rest,
tiring watching all that meat.
Oh, good.
A lot of people are. You realise at this point that all of the halflings that haven't, the halflings that have been eating, some of them, are trying to make themselves ill to try and regurgitate this raw meat they realise they've eaten.
Sensible.
Probably won't be too hard.
Daedal, you realise, is very malnourished. She's Melly, fortunately, has a little bit of food with her. She's kind of sharing it with her mother. Mallory, Malil, similarly, they're all just kind of eating, trying to drink, and just regain some constitution.
I'm happy to give away all of my rations.
Yeah.
I reckon
I just remembered some meat that was in pugs. I could go and get.
I mean, they could cook it, really. They could bring it. Yeah, I'm going to have no rations. All gone.
They really appreciate it.
let's
They're
say
all
five.
very, very
Yeah,
thankful.
it was-
And they all reach out and take that and
Five
happily
rations.
devour it.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of them are very, very hungry. Not so much the ones that've just eaten the rancid meat.
Yeah. Don't blame them.
Or the raw meat. It's not rancid necessarily.
No, that might be a delicacy in that neck of the woods.
Raw Periton.
Raw Periton and raw elf or halfling.
should we head towards danger,
North.
which is closest to
Oi, oi, oi.
harm? No, I don't know. Let's go that way.
The closer you are to danger, the further you are
Right,
from harm.
we're gonna hunker down.
Dathcarr
Are you back
Crag.
yet?
Yes, I'll be back. Yeah, because you guys have had the short rest on my journey.
Right.
Yeah, I'm back. We're ready to head.
hunkering down
Okay. Oh.
because we never think about what we're doing.
We did this before Foss Brock.
But what are we? What's our objective here? We're
We
going.
go to Dathcarr Crag.
Yes.
We're gonna get the keys.
We need to. It's more than the keys. We need to meet two fellas for bismuth. I still don't know how much
I
I
feel like
trust.
I might have been
bismuth.
ribboning for this section.
Conrack and Wenton.
Yeah.
We need to find them, and they will have two keys.
We have,
One's in the Bright Pool, and one's in the Authorium, I believe.
So this is why we do this.
He reminds you a little bit as
Yeah.
you're talking.
Yeah.
As over this hour you've been resting. He says,
Yeah.
don't forget to do this. It's
Yeah.
very, very important.
Money pot box 1.
box one in the money
Box
pot.
1.
We also, there's going to be people with weird masks of darkness.
Yep.
We're all prepared for that. It's not going to weird us out.
I think
We're all
we
prepared for it.
avoid before engage.
Okay.
I know Nollis is in here, but while Nollis is here, we will overrule that we stealth before
Thorin
we
cast
before
a
we
spell that I feel would have really helped stealth. But all times.
Really?
Got your backs.
fight. Nice, cool.
So we stealth in Malkin, looking at you, and
It's not grim no more.
we try not to get dark face.
Oh yeah. So
It's weird.
someone remind me what happened to the guy on top of the bluff.
There was one of the mountain men. He had the darkness take over him. They fought some kind of tentacly creature,
Supposedly.
which we might have to fight, and we have to get the axe back.
I have this.
Yes.
Got
Are we
lost
still getting?
Or
Are
take
we,
the axe ourselves.
are we still getting the second most beautiful woman?
I genuinely
in
think
Asher?
that's the
No,
side
I don't.
quest.
I don't think so. Yeah,
What,
I think if
wasn't
we.
that the stipulation of getting the halflings back?
I think we just level up and then slow them.
All
And
I've
he
got
says level up, and it's very strange.
is the round flower room. That was an instruction from the
Ooh.
mountain men. Something to do with the round flower room. But I was in a hurry to escape, so I haven't got an awful lot of details.
I think the best
Right.
thing we can do is not die. It sounds like
Yeah.
a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dangerous place, and we've got a lot to do. So,
Yeah.
One other thing that you just reminded of during your hour's rest at some point, Aaron once again reminds you, Clary, that should he not see you again, to return to the location in which you first met him.
That's okay. I will find the graves. That's no problem. Also, Goric said something to me. He said to heat the red eyes. Do you know anything about
He
this?
says to Aaron,
Yeah.
heed the red eyes. And just to search his memory.
Roll well, Aaron.
I feel I've heard somebody speak that.
Wait a minute. Badua said that to me.
He shouted that to us all on the as he.
Oh, I thought he had his hand on my head and was saying it to me.
He may have.
He seemingly you had that intense pain on the middle of your forehead.
Oh yeah, it was
as you
Thorin
fired
told
something
me.
at your head.
Oh, you've done that
I
thing.
did that thing.
Story stealer.
More importantly, I think I met the Red Eyes.
I feel like I've heard Badua mention that, but I know nothing of it.
Aaron, I think there is someone beyond the darkness who may be aiding us. Just be aware of this. If you encounter a dark force, it's not necessarily evil with red eyes, even though, that's like a trope. Evil guy.
Yeah.
If I had the ability to grant you the first status of your inculcation, I would adorn upon you all leadership.
That means a lot. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, that means a lot.
I cannot. I never became a witness, but
We'll take
if I were able to,
We'll
I
take
would.
that experience.
Just before we leave, I just want to run to one of the halflings, preferably Bismuth or Melly, one of the elderly.
You can all take inspiration for that.
Thank you.
Oh.
You feel inspired by it.
I just want to ask
Warm.
if this religious festival is actually religious.
To which half? Who are you talking to?
To whoever, so one of the elders
Because
first. If whoever
after
was
that
closest,
fight, I felt
Bismuth
somewhat
or Melly
Yes,
or
so Melly's around.
Melly, yeah, it would, not really too sure. The festival, is this actually an important halfling tradition?
Yes.
Before the madness, this was a necessary event yearly.
Did you not
or
get that
whatever.
from the...
Well,
Yeah.
most of it was
Yeah.
spoken through people
Fair.
who were a bit.
Fair.
We wasn't sure if, potentially we just killing birds randomly or if
No, the
actually.
festival is a big part of the culture.
It is a big
Every
part of the
year.
culture. Okay.
They usually cook the meat.
Surge and Surge and Blaze would fight the creature every year.
To appease what gods?
She just thinks for a second. I feel like I forgot that, but it's all of the gods.
All of the gods. No worries. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's everything.
You're going to need to find yourself a new champion for next year.
Yeah.
Norris will be back.
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
So with that, they all wave you on. Aaron reassures you he's going to get them all back to Broga. And Bismuth again, just one more time reminds you, remember, find me and bring me what you find.
I'm going to shout to the young lady. What's the young girl, the song singer?
I'll pay you well. Miliel,
Write a song about us!
the songbird.
Yeah, the songbird.
Okay.
I want a song.
Make it a nice one.
Yes, please.
And you see the group, and there's quite a lot of them there. It's probably 15 halflings, all in a big... 15 including the children, which are mostly human, that are all kind of heading off in this group. You've got the big Glade the Brock as well, being walked along with them. And they kind of just start to silhouette into the distance away from you. You're not sure. You're not totally sure whether Aaron, he seems like a capable fighter, whether he's strong enough to battle whatever's out there. Because you've seen some dangers. You can only hope, but you feel reassured that he is with them.
We can't go with them, can we? We haven't got time to do that.
Oh, no.
No, just making sure.
This madness seems to be spreading fast.
So you start to head up to the north, onto this, in search of this track. And the track is pretty straightforward to find. It seems to be a very obvious track that leads away to the north outside of this city. Kind of a dirt track. The water seems to just run slightly above you, like they suggested, on almost a ledge that kind of starts on the top of one of the city of the market walls almost, and then starts to kind of run along the ledge of like a mountainside almost. So it's like an elevated river that runs along it, and the track kind of diverges away a little bit.
It's a natural stream.
I mean, you can make a perception roll.
6 plus 2 is 8. I'm just trying to see if it's.
Yeah, it's just a little bit low for it. It's tricky to be sure. It doesn't look like it's carved out, but you couldn't be certain from where you are.
Okay.
And you start to travel. So what kind of pace are you doing? I forget the time of day we're in. We're somewhere in the middle of the day, I believe.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, because
we woke up.
The fight started
before
early
the battle.
in the day.
Yeah.
We've done a few things.
I imagine we're
since then.
fairly energised.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're heading towards Weathertop. We're not running after Huracan. I think that's
No.
the pace.
Yeah, fine. So you start to journey in that direction, and for want of a journey montage, instead we're going to take a 7-minute break.
Oh,
7-minute break.
During that 7 minutes, the party will be travelling north to Dathcarr Crag.
Nice.
And
Reaper's circling us in the air.
Yeah, at least it will be uneventful for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the journey.
While you play this montage, Jack, how could people send their own art if they wished to
Well, that's
you?
a good point. And do you know what? This week we had a wonderful piece of art on our Twitter, which is at DieRollingUK, for anybody who wishes to follow us on Twitter. We had a lovely piece of art from from one of our longest-serving fans, Animancer, who did a beautiful version of Reap.
Yes.
So please,
that
isn't
super quick.
That isn't actually in the loop in this section, but check us out on Twitter and you'll see Anna's beautiful picture.
What's Anna's handle?
you
Is it
very
at
much.
Animancer?
Yeah.
At Animancer.
So to answer your question, should you wish to submit art, please send it to us on Twitter, and we will play it during the break.
And my favourite art of all is following us on anything that we have, such as Twitter or Twitch or anything. That's my favourite fan art.
Desperate.
It's desperate.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you.
Thank you.
We'll see you back in 7 minutes'
7
time.
minutes.
See you shortly.
7 minutes!
Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of episode 10 of the Star Engine.
Drop me love on the floor.
Episode 10.
Which, on your travels, so you have been travelling. I've got my music set, I've realised, haven't I? What a disaster.
I heard we fought 14
There we
bears and gained 3,000 XP.
Nice.
Thanks,
So
Jack.
Can
We're
we
level,
Archer's thing?
we're level 5.
You were marching.
I can see the word scrag.
That's a legacy sound effect.
The legacy of Scrag.
So you're marching north, keeping this mountain and this river running alongside you to the left. At times, the path angles closer or further away to this point, to the mountainside, overtakes the sky. You're walking alongside it. Then you start to just move out a little way from it. So the river, you lose a little bit of sight of it, and possibly lose it entirely at one stage. It kind of disappears into the mountainside at some point. You realise that not just to your kind of left, which is the northwest of you, you've got this mountain range. It also seems to have curved right round. You actually see this big foreboding mountain range ahead of you now as well. So it's probably 8 or so miles in front of you, and then just a mile or so to your left. So it looks like you're coming up to almost a wall of mountain.
Scary.
The ground here is turning stonier, rockier. It's not particularly green round here. You've still got that dirty, sandy desert, but it's just stonier underfoot. It's quite easy to walk. The ground's quite solid and dry. On your walk, you notice some creatures that have long perished. There are bones. There are a few corpses of creatures that you encounter, and as you investigate them on your travels, nothing strikes you as wildly untoward about them. Some of them perhaps have perished of natural causes, perhaps others got into scraps with each other, but there was nothing that caught you quite in the same way that some of the others had in the past. But each time you see the bones, you just get that familiar, the memories of some of the creatures that you've met on these paths previously. It's hot, but you get to a point where the path falls under the natural shadow of the mountains. So as soon as you hit there, this coolness overtakes you. You feel the cold from the shadow just emphasise the sweat beads that are rolling down you, and you get a little chill from where they've rolled down you. But you're walking, your legs a bit tired and stiff as they often are. You've travelled a lot of ground these past 20 days.
Is that all it's been? Wow.
Or so, within roughly 20 days. And you're heading up to the north. Impossible to shake some of the visions and memories of your recent happenings.
Do you guys remember the meat that turned into a man?
Huh? The dead meat? Oh yeah, okay. I was thinking of an animated man then. I do not know that. But I do know Blaze. Must have been asleep for that
Haunted
one.
meat.
Yeah.
We're quite jovial on that.
Yeah.
Feeling good about ourselves for a change.
Yeah.
You walk for many miles, and you realise you're looming in. You're closing in to the point where this mountainside, where you're getting closer to this mountainside. You feel like there can't be that much longer to travel. You see, after a few hundred feet, so after many miles, you see a few hundred feet in the distance some quite vivid colour that jumps out at you in the landscape. And to the left-hand side of the track, it seems to splice the track, to the left-hand side is bright red across the landscape. To the right-hand side, there's bright yellow across the landscape.
Is this foliage? Are they
Flowers?
plants? Yeah, flowers.
Potentially, it could look like something that's natural, and as you close in a little bit closer, once you get to a certain proximity, just a couple of 100 feet from them, I think you realise your first inclinations are correct. These look like fields of flowers. Bright red flowers on the left, bright yellow flowers on the right. Really striking, vivid colour.
Are the halflings known for trading flowers?
You can give me your history check.
Not too bad. 19.
19. From some bits of conversation that you had during some of the in Foss Brock recently, you recall one thing that they said, which was that a lot of the wool work was traded with Dathcarr Crag.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of work on the wool. But past that, it's unclear whether they were flower traders per se, but there certainly were traders with Foss Brock.
I was just thinking that they're making dyes out of the flowers, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Cool. Do these fields look tended to? Or have they just been left to grow and are full of weeds, or are they sown and nice?
So you probably get a bit
furrows,
closer, 80 or so feet to probably get a real read on that. And as you walk along, they seem pretty nicely ordered. They're in like a square. It looks like they've been purposefully grown in this pattern. The soil seems to have been particularly harvested here, whereas the rest of the ground still seems stony and rough around you. It looks like they've implicitly worked on the soil here to make it work for the flowers. Does seem on the overgrown side now, though. Cool. It seems like perhaps once it was nicely kept. They're still flowering. They're still bright, colourful flowers. Beautiful petals. Just big, wonderful, striking sight after all this miles of Devon, miles of desert. Any smell? As you get closer still, you receive a very wonderful scent off of particularly the yellow flowers. That you know, a really nice scent. There's this nice floral aroma which is kind of carried in the winds that's rushing round this mountainside. And you also realise as you're kind of coming up to them and you're smelling them, just this wonderful striking visual in front of you. There are another set of flower behind them. So on the left hand side you see this bright blue field of flowers, and on the right hand side this bright green field of flowers. It's just really striking, vivid colours. You look a bit further down still, it's purple as well. It really just overtakes you.
Guys, now we don't have to be as careful as sneaking around because we've got bird's eye view. So he's going to send Reap up, do like a 150 foot radius, and let the bird use its perception to try and see if there's any anything that's going to jump us, basically.
Eye in the sky.
So you are, and how high are you going roughly? Sorry.
He's probably going 100 foot in the air. 150 foot.
And you
radius.
you see through its eyes.
Yes, and it has advantage on perception. We're using hearing also.
Okay. So you send it up. I guess your eyes kind of roll back and you just gaze out.
You just go black, and then he sees through the black eyes.
Okay. So Claridge stops. You see Reap shoot up into the sky,
lifting his eyelids.
Yeah, a couple of you kind of checking out the flowers still. Yeah, Thorinir. You've noticed this black eye has just overtaken him, and he just kind of stands there motionless. And from your perspective, wow, you're seeing through another creature for the first time. It takes a moment for your mind.
It's not a controlling relationship though. He's very much like talking to the bird, and the bird's following him, but it's not like he's controlling the bird.
Sure.
So he's just like, have a look around, and it's like, I'll give him my best shot. Yeah.
He's Romanian now.
My accents are terrible.
So it heads up, up into the 100 feet into the sky. You see, can you see colour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Sure. Yeah. So
ultraviolet.
It has advantage on perception.
Okay. So you look around, and
you can see things that haven't happened yet.
You see the bright colours of these kind of 5 fields that are there, and they're all neatly laid out. This pattern above, and as he goes higher, you realise that into the side of this mountain, so not dissimilar to how Foss Brock was set, kind of up against the face of a mountain. Up against the side of this mountain is a vast, sprawling city. Big buildings. You can see a large, central kind of rectangular building with a domed roof. A very high, almost tower-like building to its left with sort of squared-off tower. You can see buildings disappearing into the rock face. You can see a huge grand gold building. You can see all types of different buildings in there, and then lots of other smaller cuboid, very, very rigid, hard shapes, much like in Foss Brock. There's not a lot of curvature anywhere. That overtakes the whole city. Around the edges of it is this kind of sprawling mist. White mist.
Yay.
And this city's ahead of the grasslands, so the grasslands like the farmlands around the city.
So right along this track you've got these fields.
Yeah.
And that track just leads straight through this kind of main gateway, which kind of got two small towers either side of it. No door.
It's just shrouded in mist, right?
And the whole city just has this kind of veil of mist over it.
Okay. Cool. So he asks the bird back in, comes down, sits in his hood, opens his eyes. It's like being on a roller coaster, but like for 200 milliseconds. So all of the like kind of gut feeling that he would have felt from flying around, he just feels all at once, and he just drops to the floor and it's kind of dry heaving, and then gets back up again. He's like, "Oh, I've never flown before. It's horrible. The city's up that way, and it seems to be surrounded by some strange mist. It's never going to be good, is it? After everything we've heard. Huge city. We heard it was the capital of the halflings. This makes sense.
Okay.
But there's nothing that looks like it's going to stop us from getting to the gates.
Wall.
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 Big one.
Right.
Yeah, but the gates are open.
There didn't seem to be a gate.
We can just walk straight in.
Oh, good.
Didn't realise you had such an affinity with the animals.
Only this one. He found me in the darkness.
Some newfound respect.
He's
I've always thought you were a little weird.
I mean, he's not wholly. I don't know. If you got close to him, he's a different kind of animal.
I'll inspect him at some point.
Okay. Continuing on through these.
Are we going to approach straight up to the front gate? Or are we going to be a little bit more cautious about it this time?
What else do we know about this place? Are they like elves and half-elves and humans and gnomes?
I don't think this city's going to be a functioning city. After everything we saw at Foss Brock, I think this is...
It's just going to be a mine.
Did you
for
see
void
any
or
evidence
something.
of inhabitants while you were...
You didn't actually give him a perception roll with advantage, but you can do that retrospectively.
I need to go and grab my stats. Was not an amazing roll, but it is... What is his wisdom? Okay, cool. It's just a 9. Not great.
Nothing obvious.
Sorry, +3. It is not a 9. It is a 11. Not that makes a huge difference.
Okay, still no change there. You saw nobody in particular.
Cool. It looks fairly barren to me.
Okay. March on in then, shall we?
Well, we did say we were going to use stealth. I think we should maybe exercise.
Good.
Not straight through the gate, but maybe shimmy along the wall a little.
We can just do a lap of the perimeter. We're in no rush. We're in no rush just to barge into a city that the mountain men don't want to enter. I fear
Agreed.
that they would kick our ass in a fight, so I don't think we should enter.
No.
Just,
I don't know. Didn't we beat them in a
I
fight?
think it's just fearful suspicion
we
on their
beat
part, to be honest with you.
one together.
So much confidence.
It may even be worth climbing a wall as opposed to going straight in the entrance.
Okay. So we're
Left
not...
or right, Malcolm?
Which so the back of the city as we're approaching it is up against the mountainside.
Yeah, so you're approaching the side that isn't against the mountain.
And
Yeah, it's a huge, horrifying bottleneck. Yeah.
the two sides, so wall
and then 2 sides that lead up again.
So as you were to continue along this little track, the track actually turns into a much wider, more purposeful track that looks like it's been better laid. It's wider. It's got some sort of fencing, iron fencing, kind of down each side, little stakes almost, and then these 2, 1 story high, like maybe guard towers, kind of either side. Very, very cuboid, kind of tiered, so it starts fatter and then at the top it gets thinner, but in little, like a wedding cake, kind of tiered layers with these towers on either side. It's in this kind of this wood, mostly wooden construction, but with a sort of perhaps bronzing around some of the trim of these towers.
Left or right?
I think we never let Thorinir choose, so...
Before I choose, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace,
Smart.
which is a veil of shadows and silence that radiates from me and anyone I choose within 30 feet. Basically adds +10 to dexterity stealth checks.
For what period of time?
For an hour.
That's
And we don't leave any tracks or anything like that.
Pretty much
How does it
straight in
appear?
It just appears as, once I breathe in all of the air around, it's kind of like I'm breathing in the light. So we can see, but it's just a lot dimmer and kind of shimmery. We can tell we're in some kind of veil. Veil of
So
shadows.
they're going to have difficulty seeing us. Do we just walk straight in?
No.
Why not?
Callous.
Well, yeah, but that was a shut gate and we weren't hidden from view.
And you know what the successful time was? We went through a war thing and we climbed a wall.
Yeah,
and
okay.
We got time. We can do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
We do this one right, because otherwise we die.
Left or right then?
Well, we get left always.
Is that north or
I
south?
can't turn right.
Wasn't it always go left in a maze?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Well, the more that you just hold your hand against a side and you'll eventually find your way out.
Then left it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk to the left, so not going through the main gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you take a turn to the left. Okay. So as you do so, you walk past this as you creep through these iron stakes or that dress the edge of this path. You walk past this large, bronzed, trimmed tower, and
Nothing to see here.
yeah, you walk a little bit further on, and you realise pretty quickly this mist is right on top of you.
This is a marvellous city. I think it's only been looking at the construction thinking, am I thinking,
So you haven't had a problem. I mean,
Craftsmanship.
you've only seen those 2 guard
Yeah.
towers at
I look
first.
at them and go,
They're certainly much more impressive
Oh,
than
yeah.
the stonework that you'd seen in Foss Brock, which was fairly kind of rudimentary.
nice.
I know mist. Can I roll a check, see what kind of mist this is? What's causing this?
Anything in particular you're checking?
Just checking to see if it's unnatural mist.
Okay, so if you
not
want to
like
make
a
a
weather.
Arcana roll.
How do you
If
know?
it's, if it's not weather. 16.
Weird mist.
Whoa. This ain't weather mist.
Would you like to do the trade?
It's just very white. It's like it's almost pure white. It's unnaturally so. Whereas clouds are a bit more wispy and grey.
Does it seem harmful in any way?
You can make an insight roll.
That's better.
It's a long roll.
It's 22.
22. No, it doesn't.
Perception.
Decisive.
Do we see anybody walk in the streets?
So as you're walking into this mist,
Yeah.
pretty much immediately your sight just kind of disappears. It's just you're in a wall of white.
Brilliant.
Didn't even need this bloody pass without trace.
Well, yeah.
So
It still may be useful, this.
So we're following the outer wall.
So you haven't come. So as you kind of step around it, you almost immediately come across this white mist. and you kind of, I guess, reaching to try and feel where this outer wall is.
Yeah.
You can't find it.
No, now we're all meat.
Not
So
at all.
I'm going to keep walking forward to where the wall should be.
Sure. Yeah.
Arms out.
And so can you give me a perception roll disadvantage? Because you're effectively blinded here.
Asher
How
is
hard is it going to be to
so
find a wall?
cryptic, isn't it? Everywhere you go in Asher is super cryptic.
6 perception, did you say?
Please, yeah. With
That's
disadvantage.
8 or... 8.
Hey, you think you're certain where it should be. You felt like you know exactly where it should be, but you seem to just be able to kind of keep walking further than feels comfortable. Have you ever done that thing where you've walked forward and you've closed your eyes
Oh, yeah.
and you don't know how far you've gone?
I do it
So
driving
you're getting that
sometimes.
sensation.
Okay, so...
Thorny has never done that. What do you mean?
So I'm just going to keep walking forwards towards... I know which direction the wall is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep walking forwards with my arm out until I find something solid.
Okay. And you all doing similar, or what are you?
Following Malcolm.
Yeah, so you're all just kind of staying as close.
I'm just going to throw a bit of druid craft and be... I think it's a puff of air. Try to puff it away.
Okay.
See if I can see any more.
So
But it's only a 5-foot cube, I think.
Yeah, so you've got maybe about 5 foot of vision, whereas the rest of you have about 2 foot of vision. Yeah, this is the kind of what we're talking about. Occasionally you see this little puff come from Thorny for every 6 seconds.
Oh, it's clear!
Yeah. And after, could be 15, 20 seconds, you emerge the other side of this veil.
Into the city?
You are greeted by...
Ah,
Why do you always get worried when I change the music? You're...
Because
By Scragger
You're
John!
Haunted Ramparts doesn't sound awfully quite positive
It's a
thing.
very relaxing
Stuff.
song.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It is, yes.
You walk into what you think you saw previously, Claro, which was the city of Dathcarr Crag. This is what it seems to you. You see these wonderful buildings, really fine craftsmanship, big cuboid buildings. There's a lot of tiering to all the buildings. Tend to be kind of bigger at the bottom, smaller at the top.
So we bypassed the wall.
We just walked through the wall.
You never saw a wall. You saw mist.
Sounds like DM witchery to me.
Yeah.
You saw the 2 towers, the guard towers, but then to the side of that, it was mist.
So if I look behind me now,
Yes.
You see mist, correct.
how high up does the mist go?
So it's almost to the point whereby you're entirely domed within it. It kind of seems to be foggy. It seems to be the sky is almost full of this white cloud.
Famous 90s puzzle game, Myst.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that
That's all
one.
you got.
You know, it's good.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's a good one.
Didn't have that in the third hill from the...
No, the fourth, the little hill.
Fourth little hill.
Yeah, from the fourth.
You arrive on a pathway that seems to head just centrally. It seems to be heading straight. A nice, big, broad, wide pathway. So these aren't like little lanes. These are big main roads almost.
Before we go any further, I think we should stealth.
Are we stealth? Yeah.
So you can all stealth roll with
We
your
have,
plus.
we have advantages on
we
stealth.
still have to
It's
roll.
plus 10, isn't it?
Plus
Yeah.
10, which is...
Plus
pretty
10 on
much
whatever you already have.
Yeah, that'll do.
That makes me 32.
29.
Oh, 30.
32. That's the record roll for the series so far.
Do we have advantage?
No, it's plus 10.
Plus 10, but not advantage.
Oh, 20.
32.
24.
That's, I mean, it's still good.
Yeah.
32. I mean,
quite
none
a
of you
normal
can see
roll,
Malcolm.
Yeah.
He's just invisible to you within this.
That's impressive, Malcolm.
He's a monk.
What?
with your sunlight, your sun soul specialism, you just seem to turn into light. It's just
Nice.
you
I'm here, but I'm not.
keep, I guess, into the shadows. You still need some form of cover when you're
Yeah.
stealthing. So you're keeping the shadows. You're keeping the sides of these buildings, and you're just moving as carefully and stealthily as you're all able to. There's lots of these buildings, so whether they're houses or whether they're businesses, whatever they could be, there's lots and lots and lots of these. This is a big, big, big city, much bigger than Callus, much bigger.
Can I have a little look through one of the windows if they're... I'm sure they're low enough that I can actually walk up
I can always lift you up.
actually see through one.
Well, first thing you notice is that they do indeed seem low enough that these aren't human-sized. These are halfling-sized buildings. But a lot of them seem to be two-storied, unlike Foss Brock.
Fancy. I'll just wipe a window if it needs clearance for me to see through, and I'll...
Sure, yeah, they're kind of... they're squared off, but you can... And there seems to be some kind of glazing that covers them, so you can wipe a little bit of a...
What do I see?
You look in, and you see what seems to be a halfling
House.
It seems to have what you might expect, some chairs. There's a little fireplace. There's cupboards in there. There's a doorway to the outside. There's nothing that strikes you as being unusual.
Is it nice and clean? Is it a little dusty? Is there signs of inhabitants?
This mist kind of takes you everywhere. There's a little bit of cold in the air as well. But other than this general fog, which just makes everything just that little bit muffled, muted, hazy, it doesn't seem dirty. It seems like quite a nice, clean city.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, but there's no one around.
For the worst, we looked in the one house.
Are there any piles of meat in there?
I didn't see anything. It's just a nice, clean, halfling little home. Nothing out of the ordinary, from what I could see, anyway.
Seems a little over-engineered.
No.
For my taste.
This is under-engineered. You need to head to the academy, young sir. Splendacious.
Malcolm's got a stinky face on.
Yeah, we should head for the centre of town, see if there's anybody about.
Do we have a bearing on the centre of town?
There.
Is there a "you are here" map? Anyway.
Tourist information, please.
What are you looking for particularly? Anything that gives you a...
I guess start looking towards shops. If this is residential, if we walk down streets,
Always
is this
with the shops.
is this one now a shop? We're thinking, the closer the shops, the closer we are to the centre of town.
This big, broad, what seems like a main avenue, seems to most certainly lead in a very particular direction. It's just one big avenue.
So what are you thinking we're going to find? Just people just like, everything's fine.
No.
You heard stories of killer death people with masks. No, just hearsay.
If no one's here, we're completely stealthed. I, to be honest, would like a new weapon. Maybe some health pots. Maybe a chainmail. This place seems to be an undisturbed town with nobody in it. I feel, it would be rude not to take advantage of that.
Rude not to loot.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got nothing, no leg to stand on. Fine.
That's fine, yeah.
As you...
we'll follow the main road. See where it goes.
You follow that. You follow that main road. As you continue down, first thing you notice is to your left, what seems to be over the top of maybe one of these houses that similar to the ones you've been peering into. It's just a little bit of what seems like a different mist, almost like a steam that's just coming from over the top of a house to your left-hand side. That's the first thing that strikes you as being,
the witches are boiling people.
Any sign of any kind of inhabitants or anything like that.
I think we'll...
Thanks, so.
That's right.
I think I'll sneak over and have a look.
Okay.
The building with the steam coming from it. I got your back. Thank you.
So all the houses... So all the houses are up a very, very small ledge. So the ledge is probably not even 2 foot. There's like a little stairwell up. But all the houses are raised, so the paths are actually sunken down, just a fraction from the rest of the town. So you're going to climb up a few steps, and as you do so and just get around between 2 of these houses, you notice what can be best described as a man-made, so a squared-off pool of water that is steaming. It's
where is it positioned?
So it's right. So if you're all following with him,
you guys following us?
You're surrounded by other houses here. It looks like it's in a sort of mini cul-de-sac enclosed area. and this pool is sort of central to it all. There is a small caped girl with a pale face who sat on a small wooden chair right next to the pool.
The witch.
Yeah, I'm getting silent flashbacks going on here. Okay.
The real question is how many arrows we fill her with
Not.
before we approach.
We've got. How long have we got left? Do you think we've been 10 minutes in this town?
Yeah,
We've got a lot of stealth to use, and
It's an hour, isn't it?
Yeah. How long do you
Yeah.
think we've? What we got left is what I'm
just-
trying to say.
Just
We've been
not,
there.
probably a minute or so. You know, even.
Oh right, yeah. There's no point breaking the veil. Yeah, it says that.
leave her be.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we do some investigation, if it all goes wrong, having some slight bearing on this city might play advantage.
You say it's a pool. Is there any channels leading to it? Anything like that?
The pool seems isolated
So-
by itself, just a still, it's still, and the steam's just kind of, evaporating, effervescing. And it seems to back on to a building that you would pretty reasonably assume that it's a correlated property to the pool.
Okay.
Just one girl wrapped in this shawl, pale-faced, sat on
Human?
this chair.
Halfling?
If you just give me your perception to try and work out what she is.
That's 18.
She's halfling.
Okay. It's the only person we've seen here.
I think if Nollis was here, he'd want us to sneak on up and then just
Kill it. Yeah. Not going to do that.
okay. Just saying.
What's the name of the place we're looking for?
The round flower room is one, and/or the money box.
Muddy box or money box?
Money.
Money.
And a couple of people in the shopping district.
Hey!
One owns the tavern, I believe. Got the bright pools. Ooh, the bright pools. And the Athorium. Athorium?
The Adorium.
The Adorium.
Bright Pools.
That's hard. Yeah, the bright pools, which I can't remember what they said. One's a tavern, I'm sure of it. And one of them's next to the money box. They're all next to each other, I believe.
It's not a bright pool we're next to right now.
No idea. Does it look bright to you
Does
guys?
it look like a tavern next to it?
Yes, it probably does.
Oh.
Ooh, potentially
Might be
then.
the tavern you're looking for.
I'm looking for the smithy, actually.
Right.
Or the apothecary,
seeing as
potentially.
we happen to be near the tavern.
Yeah.
It would be a shame not to have
It
some
would be a
meat.
shame not to visit.
Should we have a look? Can we sneak up and look
Yeah,
at some
can we-
shop signs and try and discern if this is the tavern we're after?
Sure. So,
Or whatever those places are. I'm sure one's a tavern.
as you're sneaking, what was your lowest stealth roll? Who got the lowest one?
24.
24.
A mere 24.
Yeah, fine. So you
Mine
kind
was
of
768.
so you skirt around the edge of this pool. There's no sign on this side, but you suspect this is the rear of what you believe could be a tavern. So you skirt around the side of this building, and as you come around to the front, you notice first of all on the opposite side you're on a different street now, which is running almost 90 degrees to the one you were on previously. Not quite as wide, but on the opposite side there's some very different buildings. But as you look back at the tavern, which is just kind of squarer, bigger, it's generally taller and a bit more embellished. They're more decorative and look like they're more important, basically. And then as you turn back to what you think could be a tavern, you see a sign which has been painted onto the side in this nice big sign, decorative font, and it's written a halfling name. No, I don't believe any of you can speak halfling.
No.
No. So it's an undiscernible halfling word across the front of it, but it gives you enough of an indication that it could be some form of inn or similar.
Looks like a tavern to me.
I'm not 100% sure it was a tavern, but I'm sure it was a tavern.
Well, I'm bright pools. That bright doesn't necessarily mean light. It could mean hot.
Are we honestly going to go into a city which we believe to be deadly and go straight to the bar?
We potentially do have to come here at some point for bismuth to get the whatever's he's got contained
Business? I thought we were here for pleasure.
in money box
Oh, we all just break our stuff.
to find the money box 1, the contents of this box.
In here, I think.
I believe one of the 3 people who had the key, bismuth being one. Can't remember. I've got their names down here.
I'm
One
going
over
to go up to the door and have a very, very subtle look in.
Malcolm,
Whether it means looking through the window or...
just remember, it was your fault.
Okay.
Good luck.
Conrad or Wenton is who we're looking for.
So you look through a small window that's nearby the door. Again, it's a bit low. It's a halfling window, so you're ducking down, peering into the darkness. You realise you're still about 32. You realise that there is another what seems to be a halfling, male this time, just sat at one of the tables in there. There's looks like it could be a bar. He doesn't have anything in front of him. He just sat at the table. This wooden table, sat on a little wooden chair.
Remember, this is going to be worse than Foss Brock. I genuinely...
Yeah, but it's going to be normal worse, not magic worse.
I don't know. We walked through a wall for a mist. That's not normal.
Well...
You just really want some mead, which is cool, but... You know, and I know that's what all the kids do, but...
But, you know, we are here to find some people. I mean, you know... There's somebody in there.
If you're going to kill him quickly.
Not necessarily going to kill him. You know, there's people we're supposed to talk to.
What happens with your spell?
All
If you're
this,
revealed, does the
all this
illusion
we're all
break?
sotto voce.
I would imagine so. And you'd have to.
And would you? Is the spell gone?
No, you just.
You'd
You'd have to stealth
You have to
again.
re-roll.
I would imagine.
You can wait
That's what we
out.
did last
You
time,
can
wasn't
wait
it?
out here if you want. I'll go in.
I'm at your mercy. I was fighting the ribbon lady while all of this was happening, so I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
The safe word is... Ah!
Not that loud though.
Yeah.
The safe word will probably be a halfling flying out through the front window.
But please feel free.
Please don't.
Do any of you want to join him?
No.
No?
No, I want to investigate.
Okay.
Well, okay. I'll go with majority if you think we should leave this for later. If you want to have a good look round first.
We've got plenty of time.
Get a feeling he's just been sat there for weeks, so let's just crack on.
Okay.
He's probably meat in the eyes of others.
Okay.
Can we do another little lap of this area? Because I'm sure one of the owners was running a tavern. He said right across was his other friend, the Adorium, or can't remember what it was called, and I believe the money box was next to that. If I go and look at these shop fronts, I'm assuming there's going to be more shops to this. I know I can't read halfling, but do I see a bank? Am I maybe seeing a door? Whatever the bloody hell one of those is.
So if you turn
If
around,
you
see the most kind of impressive buildings, like I mentioned previously. There's not any text on these, but you do also notice behind them, they're not huge.
Yeah.
You know, they're maybe 2 stories in height, but it looks like a 1-story building. They're just tall. There seems to be what could be a larger, again, wedding cake style, tiered, squared off building, which could be 5 or 6 stories. It sort of towers above it, slightly to the left and behind this building. That stands out, quite centrally.
Has anybody been to a bank?
You wouldn't
have been to a bank.
I've used them in the
Some of
city.
these currency things.
Huh?
I've used them in the city.
Have you? Does this look like a bank?
It looks kind of bankish.
Yeah.
I've never had enough money.
Have you not? Bank. Do we need to make a decision if we think this is the area that we will have to come back to.
I think this is going by what we're supposed to be looking for. I think this is the area we're going to find. I mean, we've got to find this dome.
It's the round flower room, but that was
Yeah.
a request from the people up from Bar, which I believe was in the castle complex. I think. I can't remember.
And what are we getting from there?
I can't remember.
An axe.
It was. Oh, was it an axe? Yeah.
But the axe is going to be at the foot of basically an octopus man.
Yeah.
So not looking forward to that.
That sounds awfully like robbing a temple to me. Yeah. And that's exactly the sort of thing that we want to do last when we then plan to leave the town in a hurry. Because if we
Agreed.
rob a temple, we will probably have to leave the town in a hurry.
To the pub then.
I don't see any precedent
Yeah.
for that situation. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Just experience.
Georgie of Brandon, the pub.
Oh.
Pub friend.
We're supposed to find.
If you go in, remember we've told Bismuth that you are allowed to kill this man if he's deranged and attacks you. We've warned him that if we're going to do this, and if they're crazy, that we could kill them. So
And I'll do it twice.
if that happens, quietly, if you can, quietly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe we should. Maybe we should set ourselves up in the windows, so we can genuinely do this quietly if needs be.
The guy looking back in through the bar window. The guy in there, has he got his back to the door?
Side on.
Side on.
Dribble just with the cheek.
Almost at a perfect right angle to where
Of
you
course, yes. From my vantage point, or any vantage point where I can look in, can I see if he is showing any signs of life?
Yeah.
Any signs of
Give me a
movement?
perception roll.
I think you'd see him breathing from that angle.
There's a body being animated by rats.
Where at?
That's 14.
14. He's alive.
Live. But doesn't look bewitched or mad.
Tricky to be sure from your role. You're not. He's moving. Let's say as much as that. In as much as that he's breathing. You can see that.
Are we going in here or are we going in the bag?
We have to go to all of them at some point.
Let's just get this.
Let's just
Okay.
split up. One of us go to each.
That'd be a bad idea. Myself and Thorin, we've got ranged weapons. We can cover the windows.
Okay.
My ranged weapon is a bit more fiery than his.
Okay.
But we can do this.
There is a glazing just to remind you on these windows as well.
What, like the bulletproof glazing?
No, just a regular window, but
Okay.
just in case you thought they were just holes.
No.
It's that sort of glazing.
But I
pink-
feel like
Yeah.
frosted.
I feel like a flaming bolt will probably.
Do you remember what
Straight
happened
in the
in
whiskey.
Callus when we fired a flaming bolt? And
Last resort.
okay.
Let's
Well,
try,
I'll throw my short sword at him.
let's
That's what
try,
I'm throwing.
let's try and make it a last resort.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try and open the door and go in as quietly and as stealthily as possible.
32 stealth, right?
With 32 stealth, I should be able to do this quite.
So you still
Darn.
need things to kind of hide behind
Yeah.
when stealthing, so that just to be aware you can't.
Door and round through the side.
Sure, so you're going to try and open that door. So just
Got
you're
any oil on
right.
you?
In spite of how stealthy
Got a
you are,
grease.
the door isn't stealth. So just to make you aware of that.
Do you want some leaves?
You can walk in through the leaves.
No, it's okay.
Like a distraction from the other side, we could tap a window and maybe
I think
pull attention.
I think once he sees me, if he's looking up at the window, I think he's probably going to see me walk in. I'm going in. I'm going in. I try to go in as nonchalantly as possible.
It's got those cowboy dogs.
So you push this halfling door open. This big square. Like I said, it's similar. Everything's hard angles everywhere. This is a rectangular, thick wooden door that you push open
As quietly as possible.
as quietly as possible, as slowly as you can.
Yeah.
And you're all like cringing as it creaks open a little bit. The second you do that, from behind you guys, you'll jump. From behind you, you hear this kind of sudden whirring noise and this squeaking that takes place. And you look behind you,
Mechanical rats.
over your shoulder, and this mechanical rat, this mechanical, what can be best described as a pole, like a metallic brass or copper perhaps pole, just races towards you, and it stops with a jolt. You can pull back, ready for whatever it's going to do, and just stops with a jolt, exactly where you are. This maybe 5 foot pole, and you can see these various different panels which hanging off it, these different copper panels, all with different halfling text written on them. Could be useful if you could anything to speak halfling.
What I've
And all
seen,
this halfling text written on each one.
would I have seen any of these before? In my time, not obviously in the halflings, but potentially.
No, you've not seen.
Never done
not
anything
seen
like this in the
before.
gnome.
No. This
Gnome
isn't
rat.
something
So
you've
this
come
thing
across.
hasn't, it's not come as an attack, it's just something that's been activated by me opening the door.
That's correct. And if you if you can give me a history check at the same time. So,
Strong 17.
yeah, feeling it's gnome.
It is gnome. Uh-oh.
Why have you done this?
I haven't done this.
That all takes place behind you in a moment. You know,
Yeah.
it just rushes and just pings and stops where you are. The same moment you're entering this area, trying to open the door as slowly as you can.
What the?
And as you do so, this halfling at the table just turns his head kind of slowly.
180 degrees.
Yes, it's the wrong way round.
He looks very tidy. He's pale as well, but he's got this neat and tidy, groomed black hair. He's kind of short back and sides. He's wearing a white shirt, rolled up sleeves to his arm. He looks quite smart. You know, he's just sat there at the table.
What's the name of the guy I'm supposed to be looking for?
Conrack or Wenton.
And for that moment you're opening it, he kind of looks right at you.
Fair enough. Hasn't seen these three guys who are still outside.
No,
though.
you guys are
We're
perfectly
shocked
stealthed.
by a
Yeah,
pole.
you are shocked by a pole.
Where's that? It's 5 foot, that pole.
About 5 foot. Yeah.
Where's the end?
So at the ground. So
Oh, I
seems
see.
to, yeah. So it seems to be running.
I
As-
thought it came like...
Yeah, as you see
Horizontally.
it. No, sure. So it's come vertically.
Okay.
As you see it, it seems to have run on a rail that you haven't noticed previously. And this rail seems to be just like a groove, not dissimilar to maybe like how a tram would run. You know, that kind of groove. It seems like it was made for this pole, and it's just turned up where you are.
My gut feeling is if we could read these signs, they probably say don't come in the sea, bad things.
Potentially.
Or the bank's that way.
Hi, I'm here to help.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Tourist information.
This halfling is just staring at you, just kind of sat at the table, perfectly upright, arms just laid out on the table.
Is there a bar?
As you look around, you're pretty confident that this is a drinking establishment of some type. There are some squared crates against one of the walls. It doesn't look like a bar in a human way, but there are some squared crates along the walls and what look like some drinking, kind of wooden carved drinking vessels that are small because they're halflings.
So I will just say to the air in general, sort of half directing it towards the chap in the seat. Does anybody know where I can get a drink around here?
And he looks at you and not speaking in common.
I'll try it again in
West Country.
Try and bumpkin.
Try again in Elvish.
Okay. First. Yes.
Not speaking Elvish either.
It's not speaking English.
Great. What's his name supposed to be again?
Conrack. I believe in the Bright Pools.
Conrack? Is your name Conrack?
Looks at you.
Wenton?
Wenton? Are you Wenton?
Okay. Any luck? No, whispering through the door.
No.
There's a weird pole out here.
What's he doing?
He's just looking at us.
No, this is it's descending into fast now. So, okay. He's making no move. No hostile moves. No.
Just sat there at the moment,
sat there.
just looking at you.
Let's get out of here.
Any doorways leading up anywhere?
There's a door. So as you look a bit deeper into the room, you see a doorway which seems to lead across the other side, and you can see natural light coming from another set of windows, which you suspect leads onto the pool in the back. And as you kind of look slightly around to the right-hand side, it looks like what seems to be a wall, which just gives you an indication that could be a stairwell from the structure. You can't see it, but you're almost on the underside of it. It looks like there's a structure that could be a stairwell.
Could be a customer.
I'm just going to go around and have a look at this stairwell.
Okay. So you walk past this man who's kind of watching you the whole way until you get past him, then he returns his glance forwards. You get round the corner. Indeed, there is a stairwell.
I will shout
Very
up.
low stairwell.
I will shout up the stairwell. Hello? Anybody here?
You hear a quick kind of scrabbling, scuttling upstairs.
Hello?
It just kind of goes quiet.
I'm going upstairs.
Okay. You guys are all still stood outside at the moment?
Yeah.
Eyeing up this pole.
Yeah.
Is the pole still here?
It is. Just kind of waiting there.
Does it have any buttons or anything on it?
You can investigate it.
Yes, please.
Looks gnomish, careful.
It is a 23.
23. So, as you kind of investigate it, you can see, it's certainly got kind of runners which help it go along on this track. Seems like an incredible thing. You've never seen this. Is not this kind of mechanical nature. Isn't something you're familiar with. You didn't see it in any of the human towns. In your parts of Equa, you didn't come across anything quite like this. This is really unique and really surprising. This just doesn't exist. It's more familiar to you, Zolan. Thorin, obviously, this is entirely alien to yourself.
Disrupted the earth quite badly. I don't like it.
It's this brass tree.
But as you investigate it, you look on it, and it seems that there are certainly a lot of these writings which are on these metal shards.
Yeah.
These metal panels, and it does seem like they're sort of hinged.
Okay. I'm gonna try and open one.
Okay, so you're just going to kind of pull one
Yeah.
up. And you just kind of you try and do it, but there's resistance to it.
So, could you have a look at this? I don't know how to operate it.
I've never seen one of these. I've seen things in textbooks about mechanical contraptions, but
Did you pass your exam?
we will not speak of this.
Like when I'm dealing with mechanical things, I'm ham-fisted. You're the one who knows how to use these.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Gnomes travel many places in Asher, making all sorts of devices for.
Just so they make
this.
weapons, friendly things.
Do they make weapons? I'm going to assume. I'd say
Do
probably.
do gnomes make weapons?
Yeah.
You,
Is that so?
yeah, you are particularly adept with all sorts of
That's very true, actually. Yeah, I am.
construction.
Yes. Yes.
Well, this could be a bad thing.
I don't think so.
No?
No, not in a city. They wouldn't have a. Gnomes wouldn't just produce a patrolling brass gun. You wouldn't know what a gun is, but.
Hang on.
Stop saying these words.
Yeah.
Is this a patrolling brass gun?
No idea what it is, but I'm assuming it's just a sign. It's just something to help everybody on their day.
Why would it approach us so, incredibly...
To provide information, most probably.
Is it just going to follow us around town?
Not necessarily. It could just be the stop. It could be a warning that there's a curfew. You should be indoors. I have no idea.
Well, should we get in and join Malcolm?
I don't know.
We should leave him for dead.
I have no
I'm kidding.
idea.
Let's just wait for
We
it.
are low on rations right now.
Yeah. You saying we eat it?
He looks like delicious meat. Oh no, wait, the madness.
Okay, back inside.
Completely unaware that my comrades are conspiring to eat me.
We're waiting for the safe word.
You go upstairs and there seems to be about 4 doorways. There's a small corridor, and then there's this
Would be small.
these 4 doorways. Fairly plain white walls around here, and these squared off wooden doorways. It's nothing spectacular up here. There's no
I'll
decoration.
call out again. Hello? Anybody home?
There's no response.
I'll try the first door on my right.
Okay. So as you turn that door handle, it's a little bit low down. It turns and it opens.
I'll have a look inside.
Sure. So as you do so, you are greeted as soon as you open the door by another halfling that looks incredibly similar to the last one. He's almost wearing the same clothes, slightly different hairstyles, a little bit longer. But he is kind of crouched just behind the doorway, not right down on the ground, but just kind of crouched a little bit. And he just looks up at you.
Hello?
It's halfling.
Thank you.
Do you speak common? Elvish?
He's kind of backs away a little bit from you.
What were those names again?
Conrad and Wenton.
Can I write these down?
Imagine this is happening in the doorway.
Shouting down the stairs. Who are they?
You're still studying the sign at the moment.
Yeah, Conrack? Wenton?
Shake it out of him.
I'll sort of loom.
Okay.
I'll be slightly threatening.
Okay, if you want to give me an intimidation roll.
Good 'un.
Oh dear. That's 10.
Okay. So, yeah, you kind of loom over him. From that, he draws a blade from the back of his belt and he strikes at you with this blade.
Cheeky little bugger.
He misses. He takes a strike at you, and the second he does so, he attempts to run back. You could take an attack opportunity if you wished.
Damn straight. Oh, 5. Plus 5.
That was optional.
So, yeah, miss.
Remember what Clara
10.
said.
10. So you do so, but he pulls away and he goes and cowers.
Oh no, I need to
Under, he runs away from you and he cowers underneath a small table. A wooden table that's in the room. There's a small lantern on the top of it. There's a little bed in there, a little cupboard. Not a lot else in this little tiny little boxy room. And he just runs and cowers underneath it.
Right. Has he still got the knife?
He has got a knife.
Right. I'm just gonna look. I'm getting off on the wrong foot here.
It's
Bill and Ben.
I'm looking for Conrack and Wenton.
It's a number of he's just crouching. He looks relatively fearful, and underneath, and he's just kind of looking at you.
I'm just gonna back out of the room, leave him to it. Close the door behind me. Can I lock the door from the outside?
Doesn't seem like an obvious.
You walked into his room while he was just squatting.
As you get back out of the room, you kind of get a bit of a shudder, a bit of a jump a little bit, as the halfling that was down the stairs is just stood right next to you at the top of the stairs.
Okay. How many more doorways are there here?
There's 3 others.
3 others. Oh, in for a penny. I'm going to try the next doorway on this side.
Okay. Same side. You guys are still distracted by the sign. You didn't notice this chap leave the chairs. So you try the next doorway. That one opens as well. You're greeted by the same room layout, almost identical. It seems hotel-like in its repetition. There doesn't seem to be anybody in this room.
Okay.
It's the ibis.
All the rooms exactly the same. What's this guy at the top of the stairs doing now?
Just there, just looking at you.
Staring at me. Okay.
Very still and upright.
Okay, I'm going to try the 3rd room.
It's just across as he's looking at you awkwardly. This room opens as well. The same experience, but the room's reversed and flipped on the other side. There doesn't seem to be anybody in this room.
Well, you should be trying all the beds and all the porridges while you're at it.
Yeah, I think
The
I should.
toilet flush is on the wrong side. It's completely reversed.
I'll try the last room.
Okay, so you have to get quite close to this halfling, awkwardly close.
Excuse me.
But again, it opens. There's not anybody in this room. You walk into the room, it's the reverse again of the other side. And you notice out the window, you can see it kind of looks down on this pool outside, and you can see the steam again that just rises up
The little girl.
from the water. Again, the little girl is outside, sat on her chair. You 3 back on your pole. Anything? How are you getting on?
If I investigate the pole, does it look threatening? Does it look like it's a delivery, like a?
So I guess give me an insight.
A supermarket suction delivers a message to someone. Is it one of those? Insight.
Can you read this message?
Probably not.
Gnome.
That will be 17.
17.
Yeah.
Doesn't look threatening.
I didn't think it did. Yeah.
I think you are confident enough that Claro's first, or whoever between you, your thoughts are correct. Yeah. That it looks like it's conveying some type of information.
Yeah.
But you just can't read it.
Christ. Well, yeah, I don't think it's.
Leave it.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay.
The city knows we're here,
Yeah,
and it hasn't shot us yet.
Shall we go in?
I think we should move on. Malcolm. Yeah, maybe we go in.
Let's get Malcolm.
Yeah.
Or at least we haven't heard from him for a
I
while.
want to whisper into the door.
Hey.
Malcolm.
Where's that guy gone?
Hey.
Malcolm.
Can I hear this upstairs?
Yes, absolutely. It's a relatively small building.
Right, so yeah, I'm gonna.
It's like a tree house.
Okay. I'm gonna go downstairs, push past this halfling at the top of the stairs. Excuse me, I'm coming through.
So as you kind of go to push towards him, you feel this door next to you from the room where that halfling was. You hear the door handle just open. He pulls open that door next to you. You're starting to push through, and you just look over your shoulder, and you notice that he is wearing a white face mask, just totally white. It's almost featureless. There's like nothing there, just these eyes and this hollow where the mouth is. This white face mask. From the top of his head is emanating this black, smoky, shadowy tentacle that's just disappearing away from him off the top of his head, backwards out into the back of the room and seemingly out the window. And that is where we will leave today's session.
Smoky tentacle head.
Creepy tentacle head man.
Dun, dun,
He's just misunderstood.
He's just he's like, I just like to make music. Listen to my demo.
Thank you very much, all my players.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much,
Merci.
everyone who's joined us this
you
evening.
for watching.
We appreciate it as ever. I'm happy that we're able to
that was
entertain some of you
that
with
was
our
it.
madness.
1.5 weeks until Bristol Comic Con.
Oh,
where we
yeah.
will be there
Yes.
teaching newbies and oldies alike how to play D&D, doing some fun one-shots. The Saturday, if you're a complete newbie, that's going to be the day to learn. Sunday, we will be hungover / wanting to play some really weird mix-ups on Dungeons & Dragons. So we would have been there for going on 2 days. So I think it's going to be fun. So if you want a bit of weirdness, Sunday, learning Saturday.
Come and join us. Come and say hello. Come and
Thank you,
come
Clary.
and buy us a drink.
You're welcome. And follow us on Twitch and or Twitter.
Yes.
Twitch
And
and
everything
Twitter.
And check out our dear friends at Geek Dad, who we are partnered with. Thank you very much, everyone, once again. We'll be back next Tuesday. Same old time, same old place.
Came a little early.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade.